Kings might be a little stronger to him than he thinks. But
like
yeah,
30.
Kings usually wants to
Yeah.
be a snap call there. Regardless,
twice, but I
nice
only
little
single
chop chop at Chopata.
I like that. I'm so down to do that.
If we get it in, let's do it.
That's
Yeah. Chaz, you want to do it if we get it in?
for sure.
Yeah.
Twice, but the first one don't count.
That's right.
What just happened there? So if you're not used to poker or playing live poker, players are allowed to run it twice, which just means they run out in certain. If you run it before the flop comes, they'll run it out all 5 cards twice, and whoever wins one pot is going to get half the pot, and whoever wins the second pot is going to get the other half. If you win both runouts, you get the whole pot. So it's just a way to minimize loss.
Yeah, just don't.
You know, when you're playing a game for so long, a lot of the variance can catch up, but it'll catch up less if you're at least short term if you're doing that.
I just love it because it'll tilt the hell out of someone.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of running it twice personally.
Yeah, typically it's reserved for, a big bet or a big all-in when stacks go in. And there's a chance where the guy who's ahead has a chance of getting unlucky and losing a big pot.
Yep.
It kind of minimizes the effect of the variance.
We're going to see Vlad with 3-bet with the Jack-9 suited here.
Yes.
Is in position. Ace-Queen suited is going to call out of position here, but we can see. And this is a dangerous flop for Vlad, as he does pick up top pair, but going to be against Lee, who has a better top pair. And as we saw, Lee does not want to fold with the 10 deuce that we already saw.
And Bobby has 2 overs and a gut shot and a green tee shot.
Yeah, that's a lot of shots.
That's a lot of shots. As we can see, he's very adept at dispatching of the green tee shot. Let's see what he does with the gut shot.
Vlad is pretty deep with Bobby here, so you can see many things happen here. This might prompt Lee to shove. Does just make the call, so we are going to go to a turn. Vlad looking for a diamond or a 9. Lee looking for a king, but that would be bad. And that is the best card for Vlad possible. Picks up a straight flush draw. And does he want to take his equity, or does he want to deny equity?
It really is the actual best card for Vlad, isn't it?
It does give Bobby open-ended, or double-gutted. Vlad bets to where his stack is exactly 999.
And you see the equities are pretty close for Lee and Vlad, but Bobby is kind of trailing, and he does get out of the way. That's a good fold.
I'm surprised to see that Lee has this much percent, actually.
NBA.
I expect Lee to have more like 54%,
NFL, do
but
not have a favorite team, but
I guess
like
it's because of the
NFL,
folded cards here.
NBA, but NBA loves sports. So.
Oh, and he makes a
Oh.
fold. And there you can see the power of aggression, y'all. Aggression is very key in Hold'em. You can get people to fold a multitude of hands just with the money that you put in, especially ones that are severely destroying you.
That's a really big hand he had though, Vlad.
Yeah, very big hand. It's a very good hand to see. And we see our big winners so far. Just the first orbit about finished. Bobby and Vlad are about double what they bought in for. DJ Toxic and MH also doing well. Side of that, no one doing half and half there.
Rob hasn't played a hand yet. He just got here. And this is a reminder for our 1,000.
Ant-Man might win a $4,000 side pod with 8
You're
high.
right. If it's ace of 5 pairs the board.
Oh my gosh. And Ant-Man's going to win the side pot with 8 high.
Yeah. Gonna shove.
Yeah.
And then immediately acting, and they already
Another good fold. So you definitely want to target just full colors with his quads as the player a decent frequency of the time. And he does call. Could have just shown the quads. And then he ate.
When that ace hits the river,
Oh,
that's not good.
Give me the fucking pot. Straight. Give me the pot.
and I feel, but no, yeah, he does fold.
Everybody, this is Rounders tonight. We've got a special event. This is the we're down to the final two tables of the $100,000 guarantee roundup, and there we see we're just kind of getting started. We're on tournament break at the moment. Ethan Brune is with me in the booth tonight.
Hey, what's
Ethan,
up, guys?
What do you think about this tournament?
Yeah, no, this is a awesome tournament event. I believe this is going to be a monthly, is what they said, or I'm not sure exactly, maybe bi-monthly. If I had read the Twitter right, but yeah, it's a really cool event. I think it's just awesome to see all the big events that are coming around Rounders and coming to San Antonio as a whole. I'd said it before, but I never really saw that coming to San Antonio, and finally when it did happen, it's really crazy to see. And you know, it's actual like life-changing money, because for a lot of people play poker recreationally, but when you hit that first big win, a lot of the times that can change the way you feel about poker, how you approach poker, and if you end up playing long term. So
Yeah.
you can see some changes. I see some people that I've already played with on the felt here. A lot of good people right now at the table.
Yeah, so we've got we're down to the final 12 out of. I was just going to check and see how many our final what the final count was. 989 entrants, and we're down to the final 12. Down to two tables. The chip leader is at 7.1 million. And our short stack is just under 500,000. So there's some guys that are some moves that are gonna be needing to be made. When they come back from break, the blinds are gonna be 5,000, 10,000, and so some of the guys are gonna be needing to make some moves pretty shortly.
1 million, 2 million.
So Ethan, did you fire in this tournament?
No, I figured that since we were going to be commentating, I didn't want to accidentally overlap, but how about you?
I did. I was a frequent buyer in the tournament. I fired 5 bullets.
Oh, wow.
Mistakes were made. Runouts didn't pan out for me, but it was a nice structure. Just to remind everybody, we did start off with 30,000 in chips. The blind levels initially are at 25 minutes, and then after the late registration ended, they moved to 30, and then on day 2 they went to 40.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge difference. That's actually a really good improvement from where a lot of events have gone in Texas. I think in Texas we generally have about most of the events tend to be turbo style. So when we see that increase in time per level, it really changes the play. And it keeps deeper stacks, and that's a huge component about tournament poker in general.
Yeah, it really does. The more minutes, the more time you have to make some plays, the more chips you have to make some plays. So, yeah, that really factors into the strategy that you're gonna use, that you're gonna employ. Sorry about this. There's a lot of crackling going on.
We're starting a fire back here.
So, let's see, 989. That's a great turnout. You know, the $100,000 guarantee was just busted through on Saturday. I think they ended up with 150K
Oh wow,
in the total prize pool.
that's awesome.
So, yeah, that was really good.
Dang, and that's off of a $200 buy-in to say. You know that.
Yeah, it was a great buy.
Just for reference, there's other 100K events going on around Texas that are like $300 to $400 buy-ins, and so that's a huge bang for your buck. $200 for 150K. In the
Absolutely, and that's kind of what brought us the field, the large field. With us tonight, we're going to be joined by the poker traveler, Cedric, my friend. Ceddy, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you, Rudy?
I'm doing well. Well, you and I are both back here in the booth, and you and I were both sitting next to each other in the tournament earlier, a day or so ago. But what happened? Tell me about your travails during the tournament.
Well, you said you fired 5 bullets, right?
I did.
I did just as good as you did. I fired five bullets. And I would have fired 6, but my heart wouldn't let me fire one more. It was just too late. I didn't want to play the turbo.
The
last
turbo.
night. I just figured it would be time to just end it all.
Yeah, I figured I'd just kind of, hang up my tournament sneakers for the weekend and just save myself. I actually jumped in the PLO game and I recovered everything I put into the tournament, so that worked out.
I love these tournaments, but some days it just doesn't feel like it's going to be your day. So I did the same thing. I jumped into a 5-5 game. I made, who knows, like $4,700 in an hour.
Yeah.
It was. I probably made
fifth place money.
Fifth place money in the tournament.
Yeah.
Got earned like 25 bullets back.
Yeah.
That's also like the funny thing about tournaments is that you fire that 6th bullet, and then all you're thinking is, I need to get like 10th place to get even, and that's like all in your head the whole time,
Yes.
The thing is, though, when these tournaments, as you know, it's a $200 buy-in. If you can sneak through on 1 or 2 bullets and make a deep run, it's a pretty good. It's a great return on your investment.
Yeah.
And speaking of deep runs, Seti, you've had last year you had a really phenomenal year. You had a couple of really deep runs. Tell us about those.
I didn't do bad. I think I cashed in 2022 for like $320,000. The highlights were I did get like 121K in 66th place in the main event, the 10K main event at the WSOP.
Yep.
I had a nice
After
score.
a heartbreaking cooler,
After
right?
a heartbreaking cooler where I lost millions of dollars of equity.
Stream starts at 7.
I did then just a couple months later do pretty well at Tulsa. I got 3rd for like 82K. February earlier in the year, I had a 62K score at the Venetian. And then I had 2 more deep runs at Choctaw, one in November and one just in January.
So
For another like 22K. Both of them were 22K. I got an 11th and a 13th.
Oh yeah,
We actually went out together for
Yeah.
that one.
yeah.
That was a fun
The
one.
party bus, right?
I won the unspoken last longer between the group.
I won the last shortest. I was out by level 5.
Yeah.
I almost made a 10 high call against Aaron, the commentator. I asked him later, and it would have been right, but it just felt like a spot that was like, he put me all in, and I couldn't pull the trigger.
Yeah, that's
But,
tough.
It is tough, especially playing against a player like that who
You
knows.
never want to have to make a 10 high call for your tournament.
It was a very specific situation, as it would be, but no, I mean that field was full of crushers, and actually Jay-Win did really well in that as well, and also one of San Antonio Maine's Michigan Nate.
Yeah. He had a deep run as well, didn't he?
Yep.
I think
Yeah,
5th place.
we all played together a lot in the last down 36, and then we had a redraw at 27, a redraw at 18, and we were pretty much all at the same table for a long time.
Very nice. Looks like we're just about getting ready to get the cards back in the air.
Is there an overwhelming chip to do right now, or is it all pretty balanced?
There are 2 guys that have very, very large chip stacks. Seat 2 on this table here, his name is Clint.
Okay.
Oh, Clint. Oh, Clint. Clint has my chips.
Oh.
He's got 7.2 million chips. I didn't realize. I didn't connect the dots.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he's the chip leader at 7.2 mil.
Okay.
And then on table 20, which is not on the live stream, we've got a 6.2 million chip stack.
Okay.
And we'll have to get his name in a second.
And what's the average? It's like 1 million, 2 million average?
All right, blinds, please.
Oh, just like on the because
Yeah, it's
we
on
have
the
these
tournament clock.
these here.
Well, those
it's,
are
it's probably. It looks like it's probably going to be around 2.5 to 3 million.
That's a huge difference with the 7 mil. You can take that many different ways. How would you like to take it, Seti? Like if you had the 7 mil, are you taking an aggressive approach? Or are you taking a
Right now I'm putting every player all in every single hand that I'm playing pretty much. If there's shorter stacks to my left, I'm just shoving all in. Depends on what the blinds are at though.
they're going to be 510, and the average chip stack is 2.5 million.
Okay, yeah. So the average chip stack is 25 bigs, but
Still,
if you're like a player with 70 bigs and you have 3 guys to your left that all have 10 to 15 big blinds, you just choose which one of them wants to get it in against you and go ahead and fight, because they shouldn't want to bust right now. There's some decent sized pay jumps from, I'm assuming, 12 down to 9. So
yeah, but we all know players in Texas do not like to fold. That is a
my experience
true
in these
stance.
tournaments though is like all of these players typically are going to play extremely tight from 18 down.
I could see that.
Yeah,
Pay
like-
jumps might be really big.
The thing I've watched some of the streams before, and I always say, what is going on? Why are they just everybody's just allowing themselves to blind down to 5 to 10 blinds? Why are the chip leaders not punishing people? And we'll see if that continues with this, if that's the trend, or if people play much more aggressive, as I expect in tournament poker.
yeah, it's kind of surprising me. It surprises me at times. There's a mix, right? The people that are here that've gotten this far are pretty adept at navigating their way through these tricky spots. But you're right. There are lots of spots that maybe could be taken that they pass on.
Yeah, definitely.
Try to ladder up, I think.
I think what the where that comes from is that the sheer number of chips from where you started to where you are now, the number 1.4 million, 2.4 million, 7 million, it all sounds like so many chips, and people aren't used to that, and they don't really think about it in a blind structure, more so in like a I have 2.4 million chips structure.
Sure. Yeah, that's why it's for me it's always dependent on who's left in the field. If you're going to have more experienced players with bigger stacks that are left in the field, they're going to play proper tournament poker. Like I don't know Clint very well, but I would expect that he is extremely aggressive, not only because of his stack, but because of his experience. And then there's some players at the other table, like Luis and Raul, that are very experienced from my, playing with them. I would assume that they're punishing the other table right now, but it all depends on their chip stack. I don't know what they're looking like at that other table either.
Yeah, Raul has had an insane year.
Oh, and he busted. I'm sorry.
He's not
He
in
just busted. So maybe,
any longer.
yeah. But Raul's done great.
Still, he's been going super deep in like every tournament that he's played. I'm sure he's fired a lot, but like even got second in the WSOP and Players
Oh yeah,
Championship.
that tournament of champions.
Yeah, I mean that's a very prestigious event to get second place in. There you can see our chip counts.
Yeah, Clint is the gentleman that crippled me for life, for my tournament life on day one. And you nailed. He is pretty aggressive.
Yeah, and I mean he should be, especially with his chip stack.
Yeah, tournament play definitely enjoys aggression.
So a lot of people don't realize, but the most of the money that you can gain and the difference between an average player and a good player is how they're going to play this small blind versus the big blind, and how they're going to play the button versus the blinds. And if you play those positions well, you're going to make a lot more money than most, and you're going to have a deeper chip stack. You're going to be able to take more beats. I always hear people say like, "Oh, I took a bad beat, I'm out of the tournament." And that happens to me too. But a lot of times I say, "Well, what happened before that you couldn't take that bad beat? Why didn't you have enough chips to take that bad beat?"
Yeah.
Because there's always spots that you can play better.
And here we see an indication of Clint's aggression in the blind versus blind setup, where the small blind attempted to limp in,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
Clint
like
just raised.
in that position, a lot of times, if I'm not going to defend a raise out of the small blind, I'm either not going to call, or I'm limping to trap an aggressive player. So you see, he just tried to see a flop, and
Yep.
he had to fold because you got to raise, and that's a waste of another half a big blind. That's not maybe a big deal to his stack now, but it's going to be a big deal, in an hour.
One falls.
We see another button or another blind versus
2 1/4.
blind situation.
Yeah, this is interesting because Douglas does have 26 big blinds, so he's not a short stack by far, but he definitely doesn't want to get in a pot against the chip leader. This hand doesn't really have connectivity with the hands that Clint's raising, so definitely is going to defend. Be better if it was suited, but still in position. And this is an action flop.
Yeah, we see Clint connecting. He's got a pair of threes, bottom pair, and open ender for Douglas.
That's 135.
Pre-flop.
If you're Doug, are you calling or are you raising this 6-4 open ender?
I like both. I think you can keep all of Clint's bluffs in by calling, and twos aren't going to really spike any interest from Clint. I don't think he's going to be as afraid of a deuce as much as he is afraid of now 5. This is actually super interesting now that you asked that. I don't think Doug is going to take the aggressive approach, but I think it would work really well in this spot.
Yeah, I would have been raising that flop.
265.
And in that case, I would have probably gotten a call or fold, and then I would have to continue on this turn card.
Yeah,
But
I
it
think
looks like he's just gonna call again, try to get there.
He's going to try to realize his equity on the river.
yeah, he's being given a really good price to just call here. Interesting though, what comes on the river.
This is the pre-flop aggressor. You would really Clint really has more of these the kings and queens in his hand. He's just going to set him mostly in, or no, all in. Yeah, that's an all in for sure. That's 2 million. He just moved in.
That's a super aggressive bet by Clint, and that's kind of what I was trying to see is he going to play this the way I would expect him to, and he did in that case. After a player called the flop, called the turn, he still put them all in, and the big blind could have easily had a 3, a 5, a king. All his threes are beat, right? But he just did it. He didn't think he had it. He figured he had to open and a draw, and that's what he had. And
He probably figured that he would have heard from him with a raise if he had, definitely if he had a king.
he probably thought he was also getting a 5 to fold. There's a big possibility that a 5 is going to fold with a king queen
Yeah.
on board.
I think King Deuce folds. I think King 6, King 7 suited that might have defended, which very easily is going to defend blind versus blind. I think they are going to fold to that bet. It's hard to say though. But good play to Clint there. Yeah, it's interesting in the spots where you have to hero call, how adjusted people are to hero call spots. Ooh, and this is a great spot for Doug. Opponent has 10 bigs. See how he plays this one.
For raises to 250.
I kind of don't like this
And a fold for
from the small blind.
Yeah, I think I prefer shoves or limps, but this is, probably a more conservative play. I wonder if he feels if he gets shoved on, he might fold. Which would kind of be exploitative if you think that your opponent isn't going to shove with anything worse than 6s, which is somewhat possible, I think, in these fields.
Camel is in the chat. She was indicating that Doug was super aggressive at her table when she was in the tournament. So that's it's when you've got a chip lead with a massive chip lead, kind of takes a little bit of the wind out of your sail. You got to be careful.
He is in good position here against the chip leader. Ron with 3 big blinds here. Let's see what Alonzo wakes up with, but does have Queen
We don't know what Alonso had.
No,
But he just gave him a walk.
Yeah, I think that was a good indication of a spot where you might be able to shove as the button there with the king 5, but still probably would have gotten called by the queen 8, so still flip in. And we have 6 and 6 on 2 tables?
That's right.
Okay.
Eric the dealer is still in. He's
He is.
made it to
he
the
is.
final 12, and he just doubled up not that long, right before break.
I gave him a good bunch of chips yesterday. Late,
Oh,
late in the night. Yeah,
Well, that was nice of you.
yeah, he wanted to have kings, so he had kings.
So this will be nice. You'll be able to follow your chips through to the end to see where they end up.
Yeah.
You go, Alonso making a move. King Jack suited, good enough on
Looks
the
like
button.
this is going to work.
Oh, your last year.
8-4 is probably not going to be calling here for 75% of his stack.
And he does get it through, so he'll pick up about 25% of his stack.
Do you have any bold predictions on who's going to win this thing, Rudy?
Well, I gotta say,
Maybe
I'm
we
kinda-
can make a bet when we get down to the final table.
Yeah, let's get a little bit more time into
Yeah.
it. Of course, we won't really know what's going on the other table, but we'll get to see these guys. Clint, we know that he's going to be pretty aggressive. He's going to be really driving the action on this table, apparently.
That's a hand I'm probably opening 6-handed right there.
I didn't even see what was
King
it.
8 offsuit under the gun.
I was looking at Clinton. I was thinking about the hand that he and I got.
Oh yeah,
King 9, you said?
it was King 8
King 8.
offsuit, but 6-handed. It's going to be, especially when you're the chip lead. 5 players behind you with shorter stacks don't want to bust. As you can see, Ron went ahead and decided to jam all in there with King 3 against the blinds. It's probably King 3 is usually going to be ahead of the blinds, and in this case it is. Small blind folded, big blind has a decision. He's thinking about calling with Jack Deuce off, but
No, it could be just posturing.
yeah, that's not a thing. It's not a thing.
No, but the suited king on the button is pretty easy.
5 big blinds or less, I might be putting in that calling somebody off with Jack Deuce suited, but that was more than that.
Man, I tried to bluff someone with a 5-bet shove with Jack Deuce suited in a WSOP event. It was very close to working.
You hear what this?
I
This is
mean,
what I
it's
hear
the
from
new
these
kids.
kids.
No,
These
it's,
kids,
it's a
man.
new, yeah.
I
don't
wasn't a kid too long ago,
I don't know what to say.
but I hear these things from these kids, and they tell me about these plays that they're going to
I-
make, or that they did make, or they almost made, and I weep for our youth. It's just like it's not necessary, man. These tournaments are not as hard as you think
I
they
just
are.
let him have his story,
Yeah.
I wasn't saying chip leader.
Make
so
it
was
so
part
so
of it.
complicated.
It doesn't matter if it would have won or if it would have lost, or if
You had Jack Deuce.
you didn't need to do that. You didn't need to be a hero there.
When the field is full
Douglas
of
with 9s is gonna bring it in for a raise
oh yeah, great hand.
under the gun.
5 and 6 fold.
His bet is he makes it 250, so 2.5x.
A little bigger than you normally would see, but hey, maybe you have to do it against a.
Seti, what about this right here? 8-7 suited from the he's in the big blind and he's got a lot of chips.
Yeah, I mean the fact that you can win almost 22 bigs off of the under the gun player, and you're gonna either really connect or not connect at all.
Wow.
In
This
this
is an
case,
action
he
flop right
connected with
here.
the flush
They
draw.
both connected.
Yeah, so
Super.
this is
super.
a hand that I'm definitely gonna defend in the big blind with as many chips as I have. I'm just gonna try to crush flops and realize the equity of my hand, and hopefully knock a player out and have even a bigger stack. And,
So what's Clint thinking right now? Here we go. He's gonna check.
yeah.
So he's not.
He checked. He's assuming that,
Yeah.
that Doug's going to continue, obviously, because he showed strength already. And I assume he's just going to call. He's just going to call this and try to realize equity. He could check raise. Maybe he would if
If it was something other than a king.
That, and if he had like, if it was like a king 9-6, king 9-5, king 9-10, king 9 jack, where he would have also flocked like a gut shot or open ender. But in this case, he can just wait. He can call and then see what happens on the turn.
I'm okay with the check raise jam getting a lot of hands to fold. It's a very close spot, but I would generally not advise it. But on the bubble, it really isn't the absolute worst thing. He does go with the call, but he was cutting out all-in chips there. I'm not sure if that's like a tell.
Okay, now he's really got a hand.
So right here now, I'm just gonna go ahead and take the lead and push him all in. If in this case, it's like a 1.2 stack pot ratio. So let's see what he does. Yeah, he's gonna put them all in, as I said. He wants to get to that river card, and there's a possibility he could take this pot down by just putting in an all-in bet. He's not, because he's running into a set, and there's the snap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter what he has, what Doug has. This is a fantastic card for
Yeah.
Clint.
I mean, he still has 33% equity. He wouldn't assume that he was up against a set. He was probably going to be more likely against a king or another pair. But in this case, he's still, he's going to win 1 out of 3 times. So let's see what happens. And he won.
There's a spade,
That's 1 out
and
of
Doug
3.
is eliminated.
That's the 1 out of 3. That's just unfortunate for Doug to have a great hand, flop well, and still be eliminated. But it's what's gonna happen when your big blind's a chip leader and has a lot of chips and has the ability to knock you out.
So when he has 16 bigs and your opponent goes 3 bigs there on the flop, because I saw you not like the flop check raise, why do you think you're leading on the turn but not raising the flop, like from your perspective?
In this case, like I said, I would only want to be jamming all in with some additional equity, like if my pairs possibly are going to be good, or if I have some additional straightening cards. It is good because you can just go ahead and get to all 5. But I'm thinking that this player is not folding on that flop after he opens continuous.
Under the gun.
The under the gun player. I don't think he's going to let it go at that point. But when a scarier turn card comes or a connecting card that could connect with the big blind, you have a chance of some of these really, really tight players still letting it go, and you can get off with, getting them out with an aggressive bet on that turn.
Yeah, I'm just curious, with the idea of what these type players would be folding, right? Would they be folding queens and jacks if you shove the flop? Probably, right?
There's a possibility.
Yeah, I would say probably. It's possible. It depends on how many chips they have behind it. If they feel that they can kind of come back from there. The thing is, when he opens under the gun, he definitely has ace king and kings and aces, in his range there. He does have the flush draw, but then when he gets that other card that gives him a 2-way draw, the straight and a flush draw.
Yeah.
Now I think that's a key card. Let's say just I don't know, like a deuce of diamonds comes on the turn. Now you just, I think, want to wait and try to see if you can realize your equity on the river.
Yeah, I personally would have probably. I like the check raise, but I wouldn't have done it myself either. I probably would have still tried to realize the equity, and get that free turn card or call in all in on that turn.
Yeah.
Just because, in when you ask maybe why wouldn't I check raise that particular board, if he does do that and he takes on the pot, he's winning, let's say, 4 big blinds. But if he allows himself to see that river, there's a possibility that he's going to win a 40 big blind pot, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times his aggression is going to be great because it's going to win a 4 big blind pot. Sometimes it's going to lose. And by not doing it, his options are lose 2 big blinds or win 40. And win 40, but win 20. So I just like the ability to win 20 as opposed to this guy calling and we're still flipping, or me winning a 2 big blind pot. I want bigger stacks, and I want to be crushing. I want to be calling with the goods and knocking players out at this stage, and not earning 2 bigs with my big stack. I don't really need the 2 bigs. I want to be knocking out players to end this tournament as soon as possible.
Yeah, I mean, that was a huge spot for Clint. I mean, you can see he has a 10x lead on everyone at the table.
Yeah, and in this case, it really didn't matter, right? No matter what he would have done, the guy had a set, he had a flush draw. They were a check raise would have worked, a raise would have worked. And
Yeah, all the
would've
money
worked.
was going
Everything
in.
was going in, but it's amazing all the different things that can happen.
And by the way, we did get an indication that there was an elimination on the other table as well. So we're 10-handed right now. So
Oh man, just
we
one more
are-
player?
Yeah, we're one away from the final table.
Do we combine and do a 10-handed final table, unofficial final table, or do we wait? till we
No,
get all
they're
the way
5
down
and
there?
5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They're going hand for hand right now. So it could be a little while.
Yeah, depending on how Clint wants to play this, if he starts getting more aggressive, he can get some big chip ups. I was in this exact spot in an event in WSOP, and I just shoved every hand. I was seeing even hands like 9s and 8s fold in. It's pretty crazy how it can tend to happen like that.
Yeah. Yeah, in the outer table.
Ooh, Clint wakes up with aces. Sorry to
Go ahead.
get you
No,
there.
no.
And 2 black aces here. See if he's going to fold this.
Yeah. He's been raising every hand that he's entering the pot with, so no reason to alter that now, especially with the monster.
Yeah, this is an interesting spot. It's one of those weird spots in Hold'em where it's like you want to be balanced by shoving all your hands, but at the same time you have aces and you want to get called. So it's weird because, like, does balance matter or does, you know?
So in this last hand, we'll see that they're 5-handed, and Clint, the chip leader, far and away chip leader, by the way, who's raising every single hand, raises, and then Alonso wakes up with King 10 off on the button. So that's a situation where I really wouldn't be surprised to see all the money go in. I think I might end up shoving there and getting in trouble.
Yeah, I think what
Actually, maybe not if I have 1.2 million.
I think what changes that is the Ron being there, and the thing is that
Yeah.
when you get to 9-handed, obviously right now Clint is in the driver's seat, 6-handed. He can just smash the table, but once you get to 9-handed, you have a place to hide to hope that big stacks clash and that you get pay jumps.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, so I think waiting for that is actually a pretty valuable thing, even for Ron. You'll see a lot. Like, I'll start tanking, and
Here's something that
yeah,
you
this is
want to
pocket
fight back
sixes.
with.
I wonder if he just calls. I mean, obviously he wants to shove, but
He's got 1 million chips, just over 1 million. So that's 10 big blinds. So this is. I'm telling you, I probably would have shoved with King 10, and I probably would have shoved with 6s here.
yeah, 6 is definitely beg to be shoved more because you don't want calls. But if you do get called, then you're generally going to be flipping. But honestly, in this stage, I might think that he's just going to call, and he does just call. And this is a product of the situation that we're in, is that he feels as if he can fold on boards where his opponent's going to be most aggressive, ranges that maybe contain an ace or a king on the board. We'll see. The low flops are definitely going to be his favorite, and that is a low flop. It's actually a good spot to do a stop and go, just shove into your opponent. Does go with the check.
I like that idea a lot because I expect Clint to be continuation betting.
Action's back on 9.
Stop and goes are great ways to eliminate a little variance if you feel like you're going to go all in anyway. Obviously, you end up missing out on some value on hands like Jack 9, but and I think he does actually shove. Nice. Good recognition there from Andrew. Great play.
Did he open shove or did Clint put a bet?
He open shoved. He did the old stop and go.
that'll be useful to our man there, Andrew. Nice little pickup. Yeah, I see in the chat somebody shouting out, giving a little shout out to Mexican Buddha, Luis. Luis, one of our regular tournament players, who makes a lot of final tables. The Mexican Buddha is still in the tournament.
I've known Luis for so long. Really cool guy.
Folding 5, folding 6.
It's another
Fold
second
9.
king in a row that Alonso has folded.
1 fold.
So he's really trying to be careful.
Yeah, it's interesting because the big stack can really call you with a wide range. You never know what the big stack might feel. His range can, like how loose he might be with his calls, which hand like King 4, King 5 is not doing good against many hands. So I wonder if that's the idea there behind folding hands like that. But Ron did shove the King 3 suited earlier.
And just a reminder, we are hand for hand, so we've got to wait till the hand is over at the other table before we proceed.
Just pause every hand is stacked. 2 minutes.
That's where I saw your twin brother today. We're playing here.
And here we see Ron folding the king deuce under the gun, but Andrew's going to have a better king in the cutoff.
This is a super interesting spot. 14 big blinds is actually a stack depth that you can raise fold on. Especially when you're going to see less shoves by hands that are weaker. Does fold. 14 big blinds is one of the ranges that is very interesting. We've seen all in from the king, queen jack.
Interesting choice to fold. Just open fold the king 10.
It's close. It's really close. In fact, I wonder, I would really like to see it like put in a solver.
Is that a term, open fold?
Open fold technically is supposed to mean when you raise fold, but
Yeah, I misspoke. He folded the king 10 as opposed to opening.
What position was that king 10 in?
Under the cutoff? He was in the cutoff.
So the under the gun jammed and king 10 was...
No, under the
No.
gun folded.
Oh, under the gun. No,
Yeah.
I'm never folded 5-handed. Unless there's some extremely short stacks that are in the blinds, which is happening. A lot of times you're going to be able to...
Well, the dynamic setting is that Clint is in the is in one of the blinds,
Yeah.
and
He's going to probably defend anything. You're going to have to be willing to die with that king 10.
Yep. But it would have been interesting if he had opened. If he'd come and brought it in for a raise, and the queen jack behind him shoves.
surprised to see the
Yeah.
king deuce fold.
Same.
Yeah. And that's kind of, goes back to that exploitative thing, I think.
Oh, here we go. Alonso's
Maybe-
going to shove with a jack 4.
Maybe Clint feels more comfortable playing 9-handed, with a big stack versus
Clint?
taking these 40-60s.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
just, in this case, you have the option as well of being Clint and just raising every single hand to just 2 BBs. And if you have any aggression, any jams, any 3-bet jams, then you can choose to let it go. But I have a feeling against this table, if he just raised every single hand 2 big blinds, he's going to win a lot more chips by doing that as opposed to jamming all in some of his hands.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, me and Drew actually talked a lot about that.
If I'm him in this specific spot, I'm just literally looking. It might even look like I'm looking at my cards, but I'm not even looking at my cards, and I'm just raising every single hand 2 big blinds,
Yeah.
and then reacting to jams. But because of the stacks and because everybody has like 10 bigs or less, and you have 100, I'm just taking down probably 80% of the pots by doing that in this spot.
And I think that's why we saw Alonso earlier folding some better hands, because Clint still had a stake in the pot. You know, he was either in the blind or
Yep.
or something like that. And then this last case when he jammed with the blind versus blind with the jack high, Clint had already folded.
Yeah.
So that's a good. Now had Clint raised, for sure, he's out of there.
And a lot of this is also just based on like the feel and the actual flow of this table. Like, I'm not at that table. I don't know exactly what's going on, but you know, you can gauge if these guys are going to, if one of these 4 other gentlemen that are at the table are going to want to put it all in and willing to fight. You know that already. If they're all trying to just fold and they're looking at the other table to see if anybody else is short, they're looking at the other table when an all-in happens.
Yeah.
You know that they're just trying to get down to that final 9. I'm even going to turn it up even more. But if it looks like somebody's willing to battle with me, willing to get it in, like then you can dial it back, you know, a tad. And in this case, it doesn't look like anybody has any real interest in gambling with Clint.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's a rough spot because when you do raise, it does look super strong. But you know that's probably a good thing too, in that he's not raising many hands right now, and that might get him some more respect folds out of a hand like I don't know, maybe King 8 suited from a 4 big blind stack.
6 folds. 9 folds.
So just a reminder, we are 10-handed right now. We are hand for hand.
Man, how painful is this to have
Yeah.
6 big blinds, King 4 clubs? You might have played 1 to 5 different flights in this tournament,
Yeah.
and
Well, you've gotten past 900 people.
you're just going to let it go. I
That-
understand. I understand just letting it go and waiting.
That's kind of what I was talking about with the respect thing too. You know, is like he hasn't raised much, so maybe they're respecting his raise range really, really hard. Which Jack 10, I mean, it is still on the. Maybe he wants to raise hands with like pure equity. you
Yeah,
know?
I would need to look at the payouts of the tournament to decide, like, me busting out right now in 10th, what's the difference really between 10th, 9th, and 8th? And if it's not too much, I'm going to take a much more aggressive route.
Yeah, so I got it right here. So 10th through 9th is a $500 pay jump.
Yep.
And then 9th to 8th. So the difference between 10th to 8th is 10th gets 1,700 and 8th gets 3,000.
Yep.
5 folds.
After that, 7th and 6th is 4,100 and 5,500.
Yeah.
And first is 25,000. So this is something that me and Jesse Sylvia were talking about when we did the $1 million guarantee, is that it's much more important to play aggressive early, because the real pay jumps start, you know, top 4, top 3.
Sure.
I forgot what he said, but it was really enlightening.
Sure.
There you go. There are the payouts. So 10th is 1,700, and once they
I mean, it's just natural, right? That what I learned this year in tournaments is that everything is about playing appropriately at each stage, and every stage there's a way to throttle aggression and a way to turn it on. And for instance, when you're attacking bubbles, you know, you're obviously turning up aggression. You know that when bubbles burst and people get in the money, there's tons of stacks that are going to be small and tons of stacks that are just going to go ahead and take their min cash. That's actually the time that you need to tighten up, because your chips are so valuable. So then again, you kind of become more conservative. Then as you start approaching pay jumps and bubbles, or not bubbles, but pay jumps, you can dial it up again. So there's these flows, right? It's a constant up and down of ebb of like what you should be doing in this tournament. And it's the same thing's going to happen on the cusp of a final table, right? You should be turning up the aggression and then tightening up like somewhere between 3 and 5 players, depending on stacks, and then turning it up again, you know, and then top 3, especially when you have chip leads. So it's just these stages where you have to kind of know what the best way to maneuver is. And a lot of times you don't have a stack to be able to do those things, so you just have to wait. And that's when it's the most painful, when you're outcome of what happens in the tournament is going to be based on what cards you're dealt.
Yeah,
That's just, to me, that's
card
sad.
distribution
Yeah.
is huge.
Yeah, all that stuff that you said, there's it's a multi-dimensional game, right? You're not just playing, players on your table. You're not just playing the hands in your card, or the cards in your hand.
Ooh, we got all in.
The situation in the tournament, your standing in the tournament matters as well.
Clint actually looks like he's considering this. And Andrew goes with the all-in with the ace-jack. So, oh, he says call. We haven't got up to his hand yet, but he has to have a pretty big hand to call a shove at this point because shoves are going to be pretty.
My guess before he
pretty
flips
tight.
it is probably that it's like a small pair.
I'm thinking 9s, 8s, or 7s, but I don't know. The shoves from anyone at this point are really, really strong.
6s or 7s is my guess. It might be king queen. Let's see what it is.
He's got more than 1.2.
Still don't know.
I think we've got an all-in at the other table as well.
Oh.
So that's why we're getting a chip count on both tables. So we'll know who is going to be out in 10th and who's going to be out in 9th, should there be double eliminations.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
He's all in.
You're going to hold the deal. We're going to combine in the final table. We're going to roll this out first.
They are, yeah, it looks
All
like
right,
they are getting
let's
a count
see.
there.
This could be a big situation
it's
for
10s.
us.
Just a natural flip.
Oh,
Fair-
man.
It's a fair fight.
That's an easy call, though.
It's going to be who's the chosen one today.
Yeah, and Andrew's going to need an ace as this is a 7-high flop. He's going to need an ace or a jack. No more hearts backdoor. He has 6 outs there. Let's see if Andrew's tournament life will be connected. No.
Didn't get it.
Not enough hearts. Not enough hearts for
Okay,
Andrew.
so I heard that he's going to earn 9th place. That means the player that got eliminated at the other table had a shorter stack and got 10th, so we're going to be at an 8-handed final table.
Yeah, and GG's to Andrew. Great guy.
Yeah.
Really nice person. I've played with him at many tournaments around Texas. Very cool guy.
Congratulations, Andrew. So we're going to take a couple of minutes here as we kind of reorganize things, and we'll get the chip counts situated. Move players to the main table, to the stream table, and this is going to be a short pause. So thank you very much for joining us. We've got over 200 people in YouTube watching us right now. Thanks for stopping in. If you don't mind, please smash that like button. Subscribe to our channel.
If you came from my Instagram, if you saw the link on my Instagram story, say what's up in the chat.
Hey, said he sent some people over. Thank you. Hello. Traveler fans, Rounders Tonight fans. This is the Roundup. This is the final table. We've just made the final table, the $100,000 guarantee. $100,000, which became $150,000, thanks in no small part to Seti and myself.
we alone put up $2,000.
We did
So
our part.
whoever wins this thing owes Rudy and I. We did not much. What are we asking for? They want to cover this pizza? This pizza that I just ordered?
Pizza
It's a
or
great pizza,
a
by the
little,
way.
a little tequila or something,
I'm not drinking these days, but
No, I know you're not.
I'll take a
Slice.
share of this pizza. It's been a
Okay.
rough week. But anybody that's in the chat, if you want, while we're on this break, if you have any questions about anything, if you want me to just, tell Rudy how much I love him, if you want me to tell Ethan how amazing he is, I will say anything.
Anything that's on your mind.
That's the truth.
Chat.
I will
Anything
give
that's
you
on your
my
mind.
opinion.
Well, I have
Seti
a
is
question.
here.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, shoot.
Are you,
Ethan, get it started.
Are you going to the circuit event in February? Because I know me and Rudy are going.
February.
Yeah.
Oh, in Vegas.
Yeah, in Vegas.
I am not. I'm going to do a couple other tournaments in February. I just was looking at my schedule earlier today, in fact.
Horseshoe Tunica, right?
No, so I'm going to go to, on the 2nd, which is just in a few days from now, I think this Thursday, I'm going to fly to St. Louis to play the MSPT. It's like an 1100.
Oh, nice.
I really like those MSPT tournaments. The guys at MSPT do a great job in like most of the Midwest. So I'm going to go play at Hollywood St. Louis. That one, I'm going to come back. I saw that Rounders is having a $400 200K tournament in the middle of February.
Oh, wow.
Which I'm going to play that. That's
right.
going to be a good tournament. And then I'm wrapping up my February with a tournament I'm going to head to Panama.
That's right.
In Central America and play a $1,700, I think $1.2 million tournament for my sponsor Poker Bros. So
Nice.
yeah, so that's my February. 3 tournaments. That's pretty much what I cap out at, or 3 trips. And cash games here and there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so you're going to do the Horseshoe.
Yeah.
Yep, that's going to be a really cool circuit event. What's also cool is that it's going to also be during Super Bowl time, so you're going to have a ton of players that are there recreationally.
Yeah.
That are probably going to be having a great time with Super Bowl or trying to get some money back from some bets they might have put down.
Man, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be a really good tournament to play. I personally don't want to go to Vegas more than twice in a year if I don't have to. I feel like I just feel like I love it during the World Series. I love the energy and I love the amazing amount of tournaments that you can play all around the city.
Yeah.
And now I really like the Win Series. But other than that, Vegas is typically the worst place in my opinion to play tournament poker, especially at the like $600 to $2,500 range. You're going to have the majority of your pros or the majority of your people from other cities that do
And
well.
other countries.
Competing, and there's so many softer fields should you choose to travel somewhere else. But a lot of people like Vegas because there's so much to do aside from the tournament. You can turn it into vacation. You can turn it into a fun trip.
Yep.
But for me, I've done that so many times. I think I've been to Vegas. I wouldn't even know what to set the line at. It might be 150 times. I don't know.
How many times did you go last year?
150.
I would have to count. No, I really would have to count. But I would assume that I probably took 18 to 20 trips to Vegas last year.
That many? Wow.
Yeah,
it
it was definitely like once a month at minimum, and then it was a few times more because of the World Series. But I would assume that I was there maybe 60 days of the year last year.
Wow.
Maybe 50 to 60 days. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it was a lot of the year.
In the summertime, it was the bulk of it, right?
Yeah, the summertime, I think I attempted to go for 4 weeks or maybe 3 weeks and then a 1 week break and then go back for the main. And I pretty much did that. I think I went for about 2 weeks.
Yeah, remember you
2 weeks off.
You took a break. You went out and then came back.
And then another main. And that was more than enough.
Scooped up the wife and went back.
I'm going to do something a little different this year. Instead, I'm going to pick the tournaments that I really, really, really want to play. And I'm just going to head over for like 2 to 3 of the bigger weekend events early on in the first 4 to 6 weeks of the series. And then I'm just going to go for the main. So
just 2 trips in the summer?
Yeah, maybe 3, right? Maybe 3 trips, 2 weekends in the first part. And then just a stint for the main event, hopefully. Hopefully I can stay there for something like 10 days.
And just for anyone who's just joining the chat right now, we are just on break getting the 8 players onto the table, getting seat arrangements and stuff like that. So bear with us as we wait for them to get everything situated. But we will be coming again with the cards in the air shortly.
And just to follow up on some information that the tournament that SETI alluded to here at Rounders, it's going to be called the 2023 Poker Masters Tournament. It's a $200,000 guarantee tournament. Day 1 is going to be, we're going to have multiple day ones, February 15th through the 19th.
That was bad.
And day 2 will be February 19th. And day 3, the final table, will be on the 20th. That live stream, we are going to be live streaming that final table, and that'll start at 5. That's a $400 buy-in.
Up top, go get it.
I might have
So
received.
put that on your schedule.
I might have received word, super secret word, from a
Uh-oh.
little bird, that a tournament crusher is going to join us back here for a little while.
For that turn? Oh, back here, back here.
Right
Oh,
here.
okay,
join,
nice.
Right
join
here?
us.
Okay.
Join us back here for a second, and I'll probably hand over my headset to him so he can tell you about how amazing he
Is this tournament crusher?
I can't think of a Texas good tournament crusher.
is. Don't you live in Texas?
I'm not a crusher.
Yeah, that's true.
Once upon a time.
I got you.
It looks like they're getting situated now.
I appreciate you.
Assume they've drawn for their seats. Yep. We're going to have a redraw at the final table.
The 7th seat will be open. The 7th seat will be open. We're 8-handed.
Oh, 8-handed. So that was a double
Yeah, it was a double
elimination. Yeah,
elimination.
we did talk about that.
Rudy, I have a question for you. Have you ever, I know you've been in final table spots, especially here at Rounders. Have you ever thrown your chip stack into an ICM analyzer and decided what the value of your chip stack is at a given moment?
I have not. I've never done that.
It's a pretty crazy thing
Yeah.
to look at.
It's pretty cool. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
basic concepts behind it are based on the certain value of what your chip stack is relative to what everybody else has, depending on what the payouts are. It could kind of give you... Ethan is dying right now.
This is taking
Yeah.
Ethan completely by surprise.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening to him. I hope he's okay.
Wrong pipe.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
But it's just really cool to know what your chip stack is worth at a given point. You know, even though 8th place is 3,000, and even though first is 25K, you could be one of those shorter stacks, and your chip stack could be worth $7,000 at this moment. Which means, you know, to do better than that, you know, amount that your chip stack's worth, you need to get top 5. So you don't necessarily need to do it for an ICM chop. That's what a lot of people plug it in for, right? Okay, well let's chop this up. And in this case, you know, I wouldn't be chopping this tournament. There's a person with a huge chip lead. But it's kind of a useful tool for you to know that if a simulation occurred every single time and a huge number of data sets were thrown in, this is what your stack should be worth. And that should be what you're trying to attempt to do better than. You should be trying to do better than what your chip stack value is worth currently.
So you're making decisions to determine whether you're going to go, and you're going to go up or down with every decision.
Yeah, and I mean, what's really interesting too about like these final tables is that they might want to offer a deal at 5 players or 4 players, and you just need to find out where that is and where you're getting to, and you need to maneuver your way to stay in this thing as long as you can. And $3,000, you know, is great. Some of these guys are going to make a $2,800 profit. Some of us might still be down if we cash for $3K right now in this tournament.
Yeah. Well, there's been a lot of discussion recently on Twitter about ICM about chopping and final tables, and you know, is it a good idea or is it a bad idea?
Sure.
So that kind of goes along with what you're talking about, the value of your chip stack at any given moment. And
and what I had seen, I saw a tweet about it earlier. It was specifically because we all see it at super high rollers or big tournaments where 3 or 4 of the players that are remaining are all obviously going to be tough, really, really good players at that moment. And they all choose to do an ICM chop to cut out some of the variance of what could happen. So that is normal. That's going to happen. It's gonna definitely happen, especially in tournaments that are over 10Ks, 25Ks, 50Ks, that have a small sample size of players. Now, that's not going to be something that happens in an 8,000 player field, right, where having your name inked first is just so much more valuable, and being in this position that you're probably only going to be in one time in your life, you don't want to chop in that spot. You want to go for it. You want to get there.
yeah.
But these guys that play 25K high rollers every week, or every trip, or every week in Aria, it's okay for them to chop it up. They're just gonna try to cut some of their
It's
variants.
kind of a common occurrence. For
Yeah,
them to
they're
do
doing it in every single tournament, and that's why it happens so often.
Oh, it's something that I actually talked a lot about with Faraz Jaka was just that. I was very surprised to hear his opinion, because I had asked so many different players, and like what he said really stuck with like my belief on it, which is that you should always chop because you're never really going to have the bankroll to sustain tournament play overall. Like those spots that you do get when you're in the fifth, like top 5, if you feel like you wouldn't play heads up with someone, for example, if you are heads up, you need a chopper. If you're in 5th place and you're chopping for like an extra 6,000 or something, if you wouldn't play someone heads up for 6,000, then you should just chop for that 6,000 because that's essentially what you're doing is playing heads up, or not heads up, but playing a big cash game.
A lot of it is also in spots of your chop is a lot of times going to be determined by money, and the fact that a lot of the players that are going to typically be there are going to be professional players that need that in the bankroll, like you're saying, that those additional $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 is very important to their livelihood. If you're a businessman that's at a final table with 5 left, that's probably not going to get there a lot of time. I'm playing it out, right? You're going for the victory. You want the ring, you want the trophy, you want the bracelet.
Yeah.
But definitely, it's going to be something that's more common with like pros or grinders to take the chop and reduce variance and get as much money in their bank account as possible.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
So I kind of have alluded that somebody was coming back here, but I kind of want to hear his opinion.
I was going to say the same
on-
thing. I have a
chopping.
feeling that he's going to take the other side of that.
He's going to say, well, he might not.
Let's-
I'm going to tell you that if I get there, I'm not going to chop. I'm just going to say that now. Unless I'm like an overwhelming underdog with almost no chips and somebody's going to give me a great deal, I'm not offering chop. I'm fighting to the death.
Also, the blinds, right? Your chip stack in relation. Well, I guess you're saying the same thing. Your stack in relation to the blinds. If there's so much more pressure on it, that's going to matter a lot. So, so the crusher that we alluded to coming in, Raul Garza is a friend of ours. He's a local. Spends a lot of time around us. Welcome to the booth, Raul.
What's going on, guys?
Raul, what are your thoughts? You heard some of the discussion that we were kind of kicking around here about ICM considerations and chopping and tournaments.
In terms of
What are your
chops, my opinion is usually it really just depends on really the players that I'm playing against. That would probably be my biggest thing. Is if I feel the players are inexperienced and not going to play well, I would usually just play. As well as the money, like Ethan said, if you're not willing to play somebody heads up for the amount that you're playing for, you probably shouldn't be playing heads up. But I would also factor in their skill level versus your skill level.
Yeah.
We get a blue light.
It's a huge edge, yeah.
Yeah, so if let's say you're
If he says, "Hey, I need you to reset
four-handed and you're going to look at your ICM, you're staking the ICM, right? And whatever that is, if you aren't comfortable playing for that amount, you've won. You can win right now by taking the chop, right?
Yeah. I would consider that, and like I said, I would consider whether or not I think these guys are good
The
players.
edge.
Yeah.
The edge you have on the other participants.
Yeah. And also blind structure, because
As well, yeah.
problem in Texas, which I really enjoy that we changed a lot here at Rounders, but the problem is that a lot of the fields in Texas are kind of turbo-ish, where a lot of the times you're seeing final tables where the deepest stack is like 14 bigs, when a general deep stack should be like 50 bigs at a final table. Sometimes even more. When we look at Benny Glazer for the WPT, he had like 120 bigs, and the average was still 20 bigs. So you look at those spots, and it's like there's so many factors. I personally like chopping better in Texas tournaments, and then maybe deeper stack I start to chop less.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But how are you feeling after all the success? I mean, I went on PokerGo watching the WSOP Player Championship, and then I see you, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like that's insane. Like, how do you feel after that? Like,
that was crazy. Honestly, I couldn't really even take it in when I was playing. Didn't even really feel feel real. I was just playing cards
Yeah.
as always, but I've had great success this past year, and it was honestly really astonishing. I can't even believe like the things that happened all year.
Yeah, I can imagine. And we're gonna get back to the action here. And Nick D, have you ever played with Nick D? He seems like aggressive here.
Yeah, so I got 16th in this tournament. I played with him probably for like 3 hours. Pretty sporadic, likes to play a lot of hands.
Yeah, I mean, this is already a tell on that as he's going for larger sizing here.
Yeah, he's been opening like 3 to 4x.
Yeah, it's interesting. You see that a lot in Texas poker, actually. Have you seen that like in the Vegas games that you've played, in the Vegas tourneys?
Not so much.
Not so much, I can
It's
imagine.
not really a thing, but it's very hard to play against, to be honest.
Yeah, you're always committed, you know, if you do want to call, so you have to raise a lot of the hands that you end up having, but sometimes these guys don't want to fold, you know?
Yeah, it's very weird to play against, especially if you have like 20 big blind stack. You're facing like a 3.5x open in the big blind with a hand that you're supposed to defend. You over defend, then he just like makes a pot size bet on flop. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, you bleed a ton.
Yeah, it's just very annoying.
Interesting spot for Patty. Let's see how she plays this one. She does have 14 bigs. Decides to open.
Patty with 2 million.
I played a decent amount with Patty yesterday, and she did some wild things that worked out really well. I had to fold a huge hand. Here we go.
Oh, and she raised really big. She went 500K here, which
Yeah.
is
I think we're gonna see that a lot at this final table.
Yeah. That's kind of where I was going to go. I'll tell you this story right after. But right here, LZ's going to get it all in with king, queen off.
yeah.
He only has 8 bigs. I'm sorry, 5.5 bigs.
Yeah.
Lines went up.
And she's gonna call very likely here for the extra 2 bigs.
I don't think she loves it, but she should call.
It's kind of the problem if you know,
She
if
might
you open
fold
too
here.
big too.
She
you
might
know?
fold here. She's gonna fold. Nope.
Oh, she has us all guessing what's happening. Okay, yeah. She went through everything there. She went from call to fold to call. And it's just going to be a flip.
Twice or one time?
He's doing 3.
3 times?
Are they going twice?
Yeah, they're just gonna see who chooses
They said one time.
who's chosen today. You know, it's 54-46, pretty even. I didn't see any kings or queens burn, did we?
No.
No.
Just aces, which
Okay, just aces. Somebody folded aces here. We thought we were.
pretty clean flop for the 7's. Gonna need a king or a queen. You see those 5 outs there? That is not one of them.
There was no backdoors that came in right there, so it's still just the king or queen.
16%, and it's not on the river. Patty wins and knocks out LZ. Congratulations to LZ on his 8th place, 7th place finish.
Yeah,
No, 8th place finish.
8th place finish.
Yeah.
So I played a hand with Patty. That's the one I wanted to go through. We were at the 3K blind level. We were at 3K blind level. I had, I think, 250,000 chips. I had like 80 bigs. She opened to 50,000, which was 16.67 bigs at the moment. She opened a hand 16.67 bigs, and I was in the big blind. I asked just to confirm what had just happened because I didn't know what it was. There was a couple quick folds, and it got to another gentleman, an older gentleman in the middle seat, who was probably on the cutoff. And he went all in for about 96,000. So now 2 really crazy things have happened. I looked down at pocket kings in the big blind.
Oh my god.
And I thought about it for literally was probably like 5 seconds, and it just auto folded because these 2 things are things that should not happen. My alarm bells were going
you
off.
folded?
That I folded, and it was aces versus queens.
Oh
She
my
had
God.
queens.
Sick.
The older gentleman that snapped her off, you know, he didn't even think about it, right? He's like 96K, boom. You know, he just puts it in there. He
That's
had to have a
crazy. That's
massive. Yeah, so it was queens versus aces. The aces won, but I guess she was able to weather the storm or maybe even played an additional flight.
Those are the type of things you need to do around here.
Yeah.
Just when you see
There are
those
things that I would not do anywhere else, but, you know, in Texas, sometimes there are things that need to be done. And I could have looked like an idiot. Those hands could have been ace, king, and queens, and they weren't.
Yeah.
But
or even
it
like
just,
8s. I've seen people do that with 8s around here. They're just like, oh, I don't want to get called, or jacks or
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
like that. So that's just a soul read.
No, I had a very unique situation very similar to it where I was playing a cash game and I was under the gun +1 with queens. Under the gun shoves for $600 in a 1-2 game. And I'm like, do I even call?
Just like 1-2 open shove 600.
Open shove 600.
Wow.
I'm like, do I call? Do I fold? I mean, what do you do, you know?
I just fold.
Just a 300x raise.
I ended up calling.
How'd that go?
Yeah, he had aces.
Yeah. It's crazy.
But I'm just wondering, you know, like, do you want action with the aces? Like, is that...
They don't.
Nah, yeah, I guess so.
There's two different philosophies. Some people want to win a hand, and some people want to win money.
I do it sometimes. Raise to 375.
You're never going to raise 300x.
I think you would do it
That's
to
a
like
complete
fuck
lie.
around with people.
No, this is what I'll do, and I do this quite frequently. If you ever see me do this, you're the only 3 people, and whoever's in the chat, damn, there's like 200 people in there. 203 people are going to know my secret.
Oh,
If
and
I,
Twitch.
And Twitch. If I get to a table, and it is my first hand, and I pick up a hand that's like jacks plus, jacks, queens, kings, ace, king, I rip all in the first hand. For 2 reasons. I'm setting the tone that I'm a crazy player and that I don't want it, and that I don't care about gambling. And a lot of people were just like thrown off by like, what the hell? And usually
What's wrong
I'm
with
always
this guy?
covering the table. I'm always buying in for the max. So if I sit down at a table, especially like at a 1-2 or 2-5 table, I sit down and I just open rip the first hand. I'm either going to get called off by someone that's typically losing, or I just built a good persona of myself that I'm crazy and that I'm going to be wild the rest of the session.
Yeah.
And that's the reason I do it. That's a tip. That's my only tip for the day. Don't exploit it because I just gave you my secret.
I think I did that last time I played on stream.
Yeah, but yeah, and Raul did the same thing to me.
Yeah.
And he did it to the whole table. And then one day, you know, during that stream, maybe an hour later, there was an idiot, might have been me, that gave him like $2,000 with ace queen.
That was nice.
And he had ace king, right?
It works sometimes.
But it does work sometimes.
But
That's
the
really.
thing is,
Yeah.
you did it and didn't know what you had.
That's true. I didn't look at my cards.
Yeah, that was actually a concept I was experimenting with a lot with the way that a lot of Texas games play. It was just 3x over bet shoving flops that I just got value hands on. I was getting called very frequently. It's a cool little, like, I don't know, a little exploit that is like never gonna be theory approved, and Ron's gonna have
You'd be
one big
surprised.
blind.
It is theory approved sometimes.
Oh, I can imagine because weirdly enough, shoves are
Especially when you're not blocking like top pairs and things like that.
Here we see Ron. Ron's going to go all in right now.
Have you ever been down to one big blind?
And Nick
He's
D
all
is
in.
gonna call on the button with the 8-7 suited. I guess hoping that the big stack also calls and that they check it down.
I'm surprised he's folding here. That's wow.
Skull Mike in the chat saying bring back cash game SETI. High quality tip we just learned.
I'm super surprised he folded here.
That's wild.
Oh wow, he folded for the 90K
I'm pretty
more.
sure he's chip leader and you just check it down and you knock out a player.
Yeah, that was odd.
With the Annie that becomes a harder fold. I think he just doesn't want to play against Nick D out of position.
Yeah, but he won't even miss the 90K.
I'd understand if he had like 8 deuce off or 7 deuce off,
Yeah.
things like that. But no, 9-6, make some straights.
Yeah, it could
It's
come,
usually all it takes for me to call.
it could come 10-6-6. My goodness.
All right,
Ace is going to stay in the lead.
he's gonna want a 3.
Always 7 river.
And Jack on the turn is gonna give 8-7, only 5 outs here. Ace high holds, ends up going from 1 big blind to 5, getting a 5x there.
He's still in the red zone.
Great.
Ron's still got some work to do.
Yeah, that's honestly with this spot, it's actually great. Ron puts all the other stacks in a huge disadvantage because of his short stack. Now, which we've seen Nick D be very aggressive, now he can kind of put a ton of pressure on those middling stacks. And actually, sometimes you want the short stack to stay alive. It can be
As a big stack,
thing.
yes.
Yeah.
It's a very weird dynamic in this final table because there's 2 big stacks and the rest are pretty equal.
Yeah, because Mark with 6 big blinds, you know, does he want to try to use that leverage of the extra big he has to outlast Alonso and Ron, or does he want to take, you know, he might even fold like 9s and 10s sometimes.
Probably really should, yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, and
10s
Patty.
for Nick.
Patty's going to have the king queen
This is
suited here.
This is going to be an interesting situation.
Super interesting because it's Nick D, you know, and we've known that he's aggressive so far.
But the big blind short stack's basically all in.
6 fold.
I'm surprised
Patty
he
just called.
I'm surprised he used such a small sizing. We've been seeing 3-4x.
All right.
I think it's the effect of Clint in the small blind, but we did just see him fold for like about half an ante. Patty's gonna
King high flop. Patty's going to outflop Nick. He, as the pre-flop aggressor,
How much?
is first to go. He's going to.
Usually goes big on flops. Yep.
There's $1 million in the pot.
Always.
She's just going to shove. He makes a continuation bet of 500,000, I
How
believe.
much does she have? 2.4?
6.
2.6.
Let's see if Nick can fold this.
Yeah, it can be the problem about committing that C bet here. Wonder if Patty ever really has anything that doesn't connect with this board when she calls from the button.
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem with the C bet, but also it feels like you kind of have to at the same time.
Her absolute worst hand, I think, in that situation is going to be ace queen or ace jack or diamonds. Like,
Yeah.
the absolute worst has 2 overs and a diamond draw, but she's mostly always going to have ace king, king queen, and maybe king jack, but probably shouldn't even have that. Getting a little show from the 3 seat.
Someone tell Luis to pull his pants up.
That was 30 minutes ago, right? No telling what's going on now.
Man, I can't look away.
Are you guys up for this? So we know who's in first, we know who's in second, but then 3 through 6 is really close. There's 4 of us
Yeah.
back here. Do you want to choose who's going to do better out of the short stacks?
I got Alonso right now.
You got Alonso?
I got Alonso.
I mean, I have to auto take my board.
Yeah, you
Luis.
have to take Luis. I'm gonna go ahead and go with
Oh, I don't
Patty.
got Alonso.
I'm gonna go with Patty just because I've seen the magic that she's done in this tournament, and I have a feeling she's gonna get third or better in this tournament.
She's not even that short.
Yeah,
Is she not? Oh yeah, because she
No.
has
she's like 3.4 mil.
Here we go, all in. Ace 9 versus Ace Queen.
Worst situation
That's
for
unfortunate.
Alonso,
It's
yeah.
it's a 4-1 here. He needs to hit a 9 or a ton of hearts.
4-1 is still, you know, you always feel like it's a lot worse when you see this spot.
I love pain, so I want to see a 6, 7, 8 of hearts flop. I just love the sweat.
It never gets there
That
on
would be
that
the
board.
maximum sweat. 6, 7, 8 of hearts. No, we're just gonna need a 9 now.
Or running
3?
2 and 4.
3, 5,
3 for a chop.
3, 5, 4, 2.
Oh.
Oh, here we go. We have some chop outs.
Jack.
Jack 4.
And Alonso looking for a jack, a 4, or a 9 to stay alive here. See if his tournament life continues as Deuce peels it with the max pain.
How does that feel? That feels great. Everybody loves a chop.
Everybody loves a chop bot.
Everybody loves a
Everything's
chop.
been too easy for Clint anyways.
Yeah. He didn't deserve that, It would have been way, way too easy for him to win that one, too, and have
If he would have called the
1,000 big
6-9, he would
blinds.
have.
Yeah, he didn't deserve it, right? He didn't deserve it, right? He folded that 6-9. It was too tight. And here we go.
Yeah, that was
We
a.
have some life for Alonso. I remember Alonso. I probably played with this gentleman, I'm not lying, 17 years ago in Eagle Pass, Texas. I used to play 3-6 Limit Hold'em, and he was a staple in Eagle Pass playing those games.
Oh, that's
That
funny.
was the first casino game that I ever played. But I remember playing with him back in the day.
He
That's
gets in
crazy.
there in the cash game streets. He gambles.
Does he?
Yep.
I'm barely 17 years old. Ashley King in the chat. Hope you're doing well.
Double down?
AK, what up?
Awesome person. Ashley's very nice. Hope you're doing well again. We're telling our floor guy to get Luis's pants up.
Tell him further down.
3 1/4.
We can also blame the camera guy. It's not just.
Yeah, it's. I honestly think it's the angle, right? We're shooting from up top. We're at an angle that, it's gonna just not favor Luis's pants.
Is Alonso thinking about shoving 7 deuce suited here? Maybe he thinks there's too much in there? Okay.
I mean, he's thinking that he has 3 big blinds and
Yeah.
wondering if he should just be jamming with all hands because he's so short. But yeah, 7 deuce was probably not the one. There we go. We're looking a little better now.
Yeah, when it's when you have an extra orbit and there's like 2 other stacks around the same place, I think you want to try to get that pay jump.
Yeah.
Also,
No,
just
definitely.
versus the chip leader.
Oh, that guy left.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, the chip leader shouldn't ever fold anything that you're
That guy name was
you're not going to get a lot of folds
Oh, yeah.
typically. But we have seen Clint fold some hands, so might have actually worked.
Yeah, I think Clint right now is probably trying to smooth sail to like top 3, which he can. He has such a lead even on the second in
Does anybody have
chips.
any experience playing with him?
No, I don't.
No.
I know.
I've actually
know
seen him
folks that
play
have
some
played
high
with
stakes games. Like,
Yeah,
I know he's a.
I know
very
he's
good
a
player.
professional
Yeah,
player
I know he's a good player.
who travels and plays tournaments.
Exactly.
He's a winning player, and
Exactly.
he's definitely the overwhelming favorite, even if he didn't have this big chip stack.
Yeah, he plays well. I've never really seen him in tournaments. I know he plays big cash, but he's
Yeah.
playing well. I played with him probably for like 3 hours, and he played very well.
3 folds.
Luis marks his cards in the Knicks.
Still like? Kind of cards is this?
Yeah, I'm going to assume that the most experienced players at this table are Clint, Luis, and probably
Alright.
what was our two seats name? Manuel?
Alonzo?
Alonso.
You guys do whatever.
Alonso.
I'm not calling my small man.
Thank you for the super chat, AK Ashley King. Thank y'all. She says, thank y'all for making Rounders Live even better than ever. Keep growing and making moves. Thank you again. Yeah, definitely trying to get there.
That's my first experience ever being around physically during a super chat.
See, I'm surprised Clint's not opening more.
Yeah, I was saying this earlier when we were six-handed, when we was six-handed on one table and six-handed on another. I said if I'm Clint, I'm literally min-raising every single pot.
I would open
and then
just
making
about
my
everything.
everything, and making my decisions based on aggression.
Mark B is gonna limp with the 4 big blinds here with the Jack 10. Interesting
Luis
spot.
might jam here.
Yeah,
he
He's probably going to jam.
definitely should. Yep, there it is.
Yeah, he has to jam.
And now once that you've given away 25% of your stack, are you gonna fold
he
your
call
Jack 10
off here?
offsuit?
He might.
Honestly, this limp from Mark looks super strong though. Like if I'm thinking in Luis's shoes,
I
it's
mean,
weird.
it looks strong, but the fact that he's already not snapped called off, it's obviously, wow, he's going to let that go. Those are things that just
If he was like
happen.
in early position, I would agree with you. It looking strong, but
That's just something that shouldn't happen. You can't put in 25% of your chips and then fold. I mean, especially when it's 4 bigs. If you're not going to play that Jack 10 all in, you're not going to play that Jack 10.
I think, it goes back to kind of what I was saying earlier, is that people might not be looking at it from a perspective of blinds. They're looking at more of a perspective of, I have 600K, I only need to put 150K. You know?
exactly.
Yeah.
That's definitely what's going on.
It's funny, right?
I think Clint has like 50% of chips in play.
That's why I would just open every single hand.
Yeah, I think he wants to take the let me confirm get 17K, and he might want to just chop in the end. You know, I think that could be that's something that a lot of people will do.
I don't really see him as the type of guy to chop.
Yeah, then I'm interested why he wouldn't be raising if.
I really don't think he has much tournament experience. I think he's more of a cash game player.
Well, at least he's doing good now. It's always nice to get like that tournament high, and then you get more into tournaments, and then
Yeah, for sure.
then lose all your money or make a ton.
Wow, are you gonna fold that? Are you gonna fold that ace 8 right there?
Wow.
It was a 4 big blind jam, and Patty folded. She has 25 bigs. She folded
What a
ace 8.
fold.
Yeah.
That's close. I mean, you could be. We haven't seen Mark shove, so maybe your range is like completely dominated by someone who's not shoving. Like when he just limp folds and then he shoves this time.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Yeah, that's probably one that you can fold just based on what you've seen him do and how tight he's played in all the other hands.
That's a fold I would never make, but
Yeah, I'm not making it with 27 bigs. I'm making it with
Yeah.
like 12 or less.
but
But
I've seen that fold be right a lot in these fields.
yeah,
But I'm usually just like the guy that thinks about big blind, and I'm just like, okay, here. It usually doesn't work out.
okay. So Ron's gonna get in his 3 bigs.
Wow, he just
I don't know what just happened.
I think he min raised.
So I'm pretty sure that anything that Raul and I say about what's happening in the rest of this stream is going to be completely wrong.
I agree.
Welcome.
And this is the reason that why I min cash most of the Rounders tournaments, but do not final table them. I struggle against this field.
Welcome to the world of commentating. It's you see a lot of new stuff every day, but it's interesting. I mean, I think it's really cool to see the way that, you know, everyone takes a really different approach. Like here, you know,
He might
like
triple up here.
yeah, and he actually has a little more behind because those reds are 25Ks,
Jack
right?
high flop, he triples up. Oh, he's all in.
Yeah, he flopped flush draw.
Are those
Does
reds
Nick ever
25?
call with a 4?
I do for one big. I mean,
No, I
it's
don't think he
100
has
and-
one big.
It
It's
looks like
190K bet.
It looked like 500.
Yeah, I think it was 500.
Oh, okay. I saw all in
That makes
190. The
more
graphics
sense.
on. Okay, that yeah.
But still.
Yeah, still it's a 500K into
Wow.
1.2 mil.
Yeah.
I'm surprised to see the fold by the 5-4, actually. Once you've called pre-flop.
Yeah.
Feel,
What did you want, right? Like,
Yeah,
you flopped
yeah.
a pair and a backdoor.
Back there quad.
You're not gonna always flop ace deuce 3, you know.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I guess it's again, it goes back to that like I guess they're more afraid of the shoving range that people have. Because then again, you know, when we think about like a pro's range versus a pro's range, you're gonna think, okay, this has maybe more bluffs than it you know, than a normal range would look like from like a regular player in this field. So I don't know.
Oh, Mark B is gonna get that Jack 10 suited again. Do you think he's gonna limp again?
Yep.
Sure is. Consistency is the key to anything, and he just limped to the Jack 10 again. Let's see how it turns out this time.
Yeah, I mean,
I actually
Luis.
don't mind this. It's a little weird, but
Oh, he bumped into him?
No, I can see how it works out, and I think it works out in the way that people are playing right now. Especially as you haven't really seen anyone want to get
he was
outlined.
UTG, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, but I guess my point is that he is the overwhelming. He's straight up in
stack.
5th place.
Yeah.
He's the short stack. It's not even close. The 4th place player has 3.5 times as many chips as him right now.
Yeah.
So, you know, you have to build that up, or would have to wait for somebody to get crushed, so you can ladder. But I just think, you know, 5 big blinds is not going to be long enough for you to be able to hang around and most likely see another bust.
Yeah, especially when you're about to be big, just put it in.
Yeah, you're going to have to put in 2.5 bigs, or I guess 2 bigs, because it's a small blind ante.
I like
but
this bet by Luis. It's good. Check 2. Bet, backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw, overcard. Good bet.
And he also just thinks, I mean, he knows he could throw out that tiny bet, and if there's any aggression, he just lets it go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super. I mean, again, it goes back to just like the reason I love these fields and I love poker is that there's so many variations of skill level that can get to this point, and that's kind of the beauty of it. Is that a lot of people, you know, a lot of people like you said earlier, like a businessman who's just playing for fun might not chop, and it's also goes back to a businessman playing for fun. Also, probably won't know the shove ranges a lot of the time.
This field is very exploitative.
Yeah.
Whoever does the best has to be very exploitative. You can't just play GTO, quote unquote.
Alonso has 2 big blinds with King 9 offsuit.
Where's the rail?
Let's go.
What around? Yeah.
Yeah, this is
And
close.
he just
Put the money in.
did not jam all in.
Basically,
He pretty much did, right?
he's not folding.
I guess he wants to see if there's like a massive cooler, and he maybe gets a pay jump.
No, I don't. I think he's just never folding.
4 raised to 900. 5, 6, 9, 4.
He's gonna be in a decent situation. I wonder if Mark calls if he ever folds. No.
If Mark jams, he could fold.
Yeah.
Now, no.
And choose all of them.
At a king.
All right, and we're gonna get a somewhat of a race. Not really. 32%, 68%,
I have been remembering.
and that's because of the folded cards. We'll be seeing if Alonso gets a double up or gets 6th place here. This is a big spot for Mark B as well. As you can see, he's nervous just looking at this flop himself.
I want to see a Queen 10 flop for maximum pain.
Well,
There's the
There's the Queen.
exact board from the King Jack. He's still looking for 4 outs. King or a 9.
Let's get a 10.
10 for a backdoor.
5.
No chop pot possibilities on this board.
You can hear Luis cheering for a 5. He wants to play
8's not going to help.
Right, 8.
Going to just be looking for those 4 outs with the King or a 9. 12% on the river. Let's see if Alonso can get that river again.
No.
Not there. GG's to Alonso. Nothing you can really do about that spot. Nick D
GG.
taking down another spot, but 6th place.
He played well.
Yeah, now Mark B is definitely going to be shoving as it's going to be his big blind.
Now it should get interesting.
Although I will say, for example, on the 1 mil guaranteed, we had a player who we thought would shove over and over. He had like 9 or 10 bigs the whole time. He ended up laddering to like 5th or 4th place, just folding the whole time, like staying at like 5, 6 bigs when everyone was like at 30.
I've always
And
said you make money at final tables by folding.
yeah, it's a weird like dynamic, you know, like when that's like the biggest thing I think.
It really is. This is where all the money's made.
Yeah.
You have to be very careful. Unless you're the big stack, then you can do whatever you want.
No rules if you're the big stack.
And wow,
That's why
what
I'm
a big
surprised with
raise.
Cliff. Like Nick D's doing what he should be doing. He might surpass Cliff, and then we could get a battle.
Do you think the sizing is somewhat of Luis in the big blind? Like maybe because they seem to have like history. He's like
No,
FU Luis.
no.
Yeah, I was just interested because he went for like a 4x there, 4.5.
He's been doing that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his
Oh, he
method
actually
is
went
not
for a
that.
5.
Yeah,
5x.
Yeah.
a little over 5. He did like
Yeah.
5.2.
I think we're gonna see the standard from him to be
Blinder up,
3x
100,
plus.
200.
That's why I told you I was surprised when he went only 2.5 with the 10s.
Yeah. That makes sense. I actually would have liked the 10s as a shove in that spot earlier. Well, actually, no, Clint was
He can't.
behind.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
can't with Clint behind. He's kind
Yeah.
of in an awkward spot.
He might have actually been doing the smaller raise, trying to entice another player to get all in and squeeze some money out, right?
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
That's pretty common, right? For him to make a smaller raise based on the stack sizes that are going to shove, that are going to reopen the action. Maybe somebody calls and then he could just rejam 10s again.
Raise to 500.
And Ron might have a little more than said just because of I think he has. Oh wow, Nick D, Ace King back. Oh wait,
Back to back, right? Wait, what? No, that's
No.
right.
I was
There had to
wrong.
have been a card
That's
for
wrong,
your
yeah.
error
Yeah.
there.
I hope.
No one will ever know.
We've seen some crazy folds on stream, I will say. But it's very easy for card readers to read wrong.
You playing what?
For sure.
7 starting stacks. 7 starting stacks.
7?
Big blind.
Oh,
Yeah, this is a super interesting spot with the stack depths now. Oh, and Ron's gonna wake up with jacks.
If he doubles,
This week.
it's very interesting.
Yeah,
Third this year.
his dynamic with Mark becomes really weird too, because I think the pay jumps start to become
Yeah, they
a lot different.
they matter now.
Yeah. And Mark, that one big blind, he's just hoping that there's a cooler.
3 fold.
I wonder if you can ever fold to a shove by Patty,
4 fold. 5
Not
calls.
with jacks.
Because
But,
Ron
you're
has more
right.
like 6 or 7 bigs,
Yeah, with the other guy having one, yeah, you probably should, yeah. Especially to Patty, right?
Yeah.
Said he folded kings.
I did. And I'm back here. It was a good play that time, but apparently I made some mistakes after that.
Yeah, because Ron has more like 1.2. Oh, my
God.
gosh.
So long. So long.
I don't think he gets stacked here, though.
No, he checked the flop. Oh, she shoves.
Yeah, he's folding it.
Yeah. Good to take your time and think about it, though.
Yep, good.
Playing that hand so passively gave him the ability to stay in. King high board,
Patty calls all in.
paired the deuce, clubs came. It just was as scary as possible for him, so he was able to get away from it. So that's good.
Did he check flop?
Yeah, he checked
He
flop.
did. He did. He checked
Patty
flop
might
too.
call, right? One bet.
I don't think so. I don't think
No?
so. Nah, not judging by what we've seen here.
I mean, I would have never opened the jacks
Plus,
anyways.
plus his one bet would have probably been an all in, right? Like if he chose to bet,
Yeah.
he would have been all in.
He
The
was just-
psychology, like
of
Ethan
Patty
was
being
saying-
Patty, he thinks.
yeah, and the
Patty could have
psychology
kings.
of him saying the words all in as opposed to him saying 4 bigs. I think she would have folded.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he does
I
have, he has a little more than 4 bigs. It's just not updating. I think
It looks like he has like 1.2, 1.3.
yeah, around there. And there you can see our payout. So the next, him outlasting Mark B is an extra 1,700,
Yep.
which is,
So we have a $1,700 jump, then we have a $2,300 jump, a $3,000 jump, $5,000 jump, and then the big
Starting to
one,
matter.
$6,900 jump from second to first. I'm sorry, $7,900 jump.
these are super interesting spots, like ICM-wise, because you just get so many, you have to fold so many hands. And knowing what hands are right on the cusp and stuff, it's just, I guess it's all up to you.
Yeah.
Like Luis has such an interesting spot. He just he's not allowed to do anything.
No, yeah, he's
No.
completely handcuffed. He needs to wait for
Yeah.
5th place to bust, the short stack to bust, and then he
Yeah,
can
really, both of them
make his decisions.
for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see if Luis gets a hand like jacks or queens, because he is definitely in the middle. We're gonna see an ace high board for Patty.
Do you think Clint's gonna call a really small bet here to try to get this gut shot? Nope.
No, I didn't think so. Maybe if he had 2 clubs, he might continue. I still think he folds.
Just applying pressure there would have been cool.
Yeah.
But it's Patty, so you're always like.
Yeah,
very
is she
strong.
not leading not an ace ever, right?
Yeah, and also payouts, third, second, and first, pretty big comparatively to the current payouts. Clint and Nick have a very good shot of just securing an extra 7,000 here.
What do they have? Like 70% of the chips?
Yeah, to combine, they probably
Yeah,
have like 70.
maybe more.
I think because I think Clint has like 55% of the chips around there, whereas yeah, I mean I think they might each have
they have more.
85% total
Yeah,
around
so
there.
much.
Yeah.
Clint's in a great spot with where he's at.
I knew that was gonna.
Yeah, just doing the math in my head right now. Yeah, Clint has 50% essentially, and Nick, well,
Those
because
purples are 500s?
yeah,
What are you gonna do? Okay.
yeah, because Clint and Nick combined, I think, have about 20 million.
Where's Sherwin?
There's
Oh my! How
really,
many
there's
times
28 million in play.
That's like the 6th time.
Yeah. So Clint is under 50%, but almost there, 3 million away from it. We're gonna see a domination again. We've seen a lot of domination spots. Unfortunate for Mark B, does get a hand that he kind of has to shove under the gun. And if you're gonna have an ace here against an ace, it's good to have the wheel ace at least.
Yep. Make some straights.
He's hoping for a small board. That's not good. Oh, some backdoors.
We want a 3 or a 7. You want to see a 5?
3 or 7, either one.
Oh, that's not
GG's.
it. GG's to Mark.
Died. He died.
He died.
He died. Se murió.
It's cool how that's caught on. I always hear people saying die now.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm mad at waitlist.
I especially like it when there's like a tournament break and you're walking past the cash tables and they're like, how's it going? And the guy just says, I died.
I died.
Now I know why you.
Yeah, I remember someone telling me you die.
Die.
I'm like,
I actually met a
alright.
guy one time that his name was You Die.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Well,
He's an
Mark
Asian dude.
Mark
spelled
B
weird.
is taking 5,500 for his efforts. Nice run there, Mark. You did. You were able to get a big stack here. Or not big stack. You were able to outlast the short stacks to make 5,500, which is nice. I think he was hovering around 4 to 5 big blinds the whole time. So, I mean, he ends up making an extra 4K from 10th place essentially, which is a huge.
Do you guys know what the stacks are right now? I would love to see those because I'm gonna throw what's left in here into the ICM analyzer to see what these stacks are worth. I'm assuming. I mean, Clint stack and Clint stack's just worth so much money right now.
Yeah,
Clint and Nick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Clint's not that ahead of Nick.
there have been times when ICM has given certain chip stacks even more than first place makes.
No, I just didn't feel like you had me.
Patty's got like 6.
Yeah.
I was very surprised to see Ron fold the King 9 blind versus blind there, but could have been a card reader error.
You look at my hand. I did.
Actually, no, it's because the blinds are wrong. So he does have more. I forget. Which might make it more of a shove. I'm not sure.
Definitely. I think that's one of the biggest spots. Recreational misplays, blind versus blind spots.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. That's where all the money can be.
There really is a lot of money to be made. Blind versus blind.
That Annie is huge.
Hey, you know what's funny? I mean, I'm always on this one.
It is, but it isn't. It's good to not have it like double the big
No,
blind.
no, sit 2 every
Yeah.
time. But today, sit 3. I'm gonna sit 2.
I like the small blind variation a lot better.
Yeah, you can definitely just play a little tighter than usual.
Patty's gonna have King Jack suited here.
See what she opens to.
Yeah, she's been using bigger sizings. Oh, and she limps here. Do you ever have a limping range in this spot as Patty?
Definitely. As Patty, though, I don't like it so much. I'd rather her open.
As her like image.
Yeah, as her image.
That makes sense. She does have a good amount of chips now. She's up to 5.4 million, 27 big blinds.
She's just allowing them to get equity now.
Yeah,
Buddha might lead here.
I like this
He
lead.
might raise. This is interesting. Oh, wow. That was a good spot to just put pressure on Buddha.
Yeah, I wonder if Buddha folds the 8 though.
I think he does.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So I went
right?
ahead and ran those stacks in the payouts into the ICM, and that really small fifth place stack of 440Ks is worth 7,900 bucks right now. You know, it's
Basically the payout, right?
it's basically the payout. It's just going to be so hard for him to come up. So
Well, he has a little more, so maybe
Yeah.
because he has like 1.1 mil.
but you know, the second and third place stacks, they're really close. Right now the ICM's saying that first the chip leader should have about 18.2, second and third about 15.8 to 15.6, fourth place getting 14.4K. So, you know, once this fifth place guy, if the short stack busts, you might see these four players talking a little bit about a deal,
We might.
Oh, yeah.
just because no one's going to be an overwhelming underdog.
If Cliff would agree, I think everybody else would agree.
Yeah. And, you know,
Oh wow, and Patty's gonna defend here. I'm trying to think of what she might. Oh, okay, 8-7 off.
Nice.
Yeah, she is deep enough. I feel that she can.
let's take it to the
defend these.
streets, see
Yeah,
what
let's go.
happens.
8-7 queen flop.
There we go.
Wow,
Something's happening.
Nice.
Oh, and she just leads.
Wow.
She's just going to lead 200K.
Does he raise here?
Honestly, I like some just calls, right?
He's
Yeah,
raising.
yeah. He has to also, just based on her,
Yeah.
the tight image that Patty has. He's going to probably be calling her down if she goes 3 streets. She's probably going to slow down here. And like I said, I know nothing, so she might just bet.
Go to the streets.
Yeah,
Just go to the
it's
streets.
super small again,
Wow.
200K again.
Now you have to raise.
8th pot bet.
Yeah.
Here's a really
Small
small raise,
raise.
500K.
Yep.
Yeah, she's. Oh man, I've seen this before. She turned around and looked at the clock. That's what she did to me in a hand, and that
So
wasn't
we're
good for
getting
me.
8.
That was
We're getting 8.
yeah. 7 might be a good card too. So
That's actually an interesting.
it's gonna go check bet.
I think
Small
she's
bet.
gonna call because I think she might be putting him on. Oh, what? This is not gonna get.
What is this,
called.
1.1? Yeah, she just folds and stuff.
I was gonna say a lot of draw like Ace King, Ace Jack missed, and if she's
Still
calling
not
the
too big.
flop, I guess maybe yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually
Close smaller.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and it's okay. I mean, what did she really lose? She lost like 4 bigs in that hand. Nothing too major, with the possibility of building up a big pot. If she was too.
I don't mind her lead. I like her lead.
yeah. It's interesting when you lead get called. I wonder what I do on the turn personally. It's a hard spot.
I'm not going to bet 200K again. I'm either going to take obviously like a 60 to 70% pot size bet or just check and give up. Okay, here we go. Ron's getting all in. Come on, my buddy. Ace, king, and diamonds. What
Two
else are you
bigs?
looking for?
9 is on.
Think
No, he's
about
got
it.
like
Think about it.
8.
Think about it.
Got 4 bigs.
2.2 bigs, right?
No, he
No,
has,
he's
he has
got like
more.
800.
Oh, 800K.
They're all
They-
greens.
They
Those
have
are
it.
hundreds.
They have it. I'm looking at the graphics like an idiot. Should look at the stacks. Can't call with a 3.
So he's not like super short.
Out of king and 3.
He was coming.
3-3-3.
Yeah.
I think now he has somewhere around 7 bigs.
If you got heads up in this particular tournament and you felt that you were an overwhelming favorite to win, would you offer the deal of playing for it all?
So
Second place gets nothing, first takes it all.
no,
No?
never.
I
no.
would do it every single time.
I mean, I played a lot of the. So when I go to the series, my main game is sit and goes.
Yeah.
So I played a lot of the $500 sit and goes, which is just full of Euro regs and a bunch of like pros.
Yeah.
And even in those fields, like those Euro regs still chop with me, even though they know that they have a edge on me.
So
And
you go to the World Series and you play against the most reggiest field of guys that need the money for their bankroll.
I've done pretty well in them. So
Yeah, I just think like if you're doing well in those, you'd probably be doing good in other things, right?
Yeah. I've always really liked sit and goes from a gameplay perspective. That's the only reason I really play them. No,
Gotcha.
those fields are pretty. I would say it's like pretty half soft, half insanely hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you get to the $500 pluses, they're usually pretty tough.
Yeah.
I've never played a sit and go at the World Series.
Really?
I would
I'm
have
gonna do
never
it
lose
once.
with aces and kings.
Maybe like a 1K for like a 10K seat or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Those are cool.
But I just think of that situation as exactly what you're
Yeah.
pinning, you know, because you
Yeah.
always take first in a sit and go.
I would offer it as a power move. Right? We get heads up, and I just look the guy in the face. I'm like, well, let's play for all of it. And you see the fear in a man's eyes, and then you know you have him. Yeah.
Wow, and we're going check here.
Somebody sneeze at it, so you can win a pot.
I wonder if Clint were to bet, would Ron call if king
It's
high?
gonna
I
work
would
if he
hope
just
he'll
puts
call.
it out there. It's gonna work.
It's $1 million. That's half a stack.
Ever.
Yeah, it's gonna work.
Never. Ever.
It's gonna all in for him. That would have been so awesome if he just calls.
Just owns him, just shows him, looks
Yeah.
him in the eyes and says, "King high. I know it's good. Ship me the pot." Doesn't even wait for the gentleman to flip his hand.
It's really the first.
Who was that? I said. Only I said.
First bluff we've had.
Yeah, like no one's got it online at all. I expected Cliff to be way more
They know who you are?
active than he is.
Do they know who you are?
She knows.
Okay.
They don't know. They don't know. I just do shots and slays. Don't care. How many shots
Luis's
I take?
ghost
30.
showed
Yeah.
for a sec.
Don't
What?
miss.
Slays
Oh,
that.
you did. There was
I
like
take their
a
shots,
faded
slays. I
like
still
outline
place-
of
I still do
Luis
badass.
for a sec, but
He's out of his own body.
How much does he have?
it looks like Luis has like
Bro, I don't never fuck up. Never fuck up.
2.2 million, right?
Amazing.
I'll be
Around there,
honest.
maybe 2.6.
Oh, he's big blind right now.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought that was
No,
his
clean
hand.
sober,
Nick.
dude. You don't
and
Keep
a
on
little problem with the graphics here as
Ron Jam here? Yep. And he's getting called. Luis is folding.
we changed it to a cash game on accident here, but Ron
550.
will be going all
Luis
in.
should fold.
Oh, 550.
13 bigs for Buddha.
Did he call?
Yeah, he did.
He called.
It was a min raise though.
Oh, it doesn't get
But
reopened.
you can do whatever you want.
It does get reopened, doesn't it?
You cannot wait. It's got-
Yeah, you can't reopen.
Try. No, let him try.
Oh,
Let him try.
Yeah, that's why he called.
He wants to wait. He wants to raise so bad. He's kept.
Yeah, you can't.
Oh, Captain, I'm at
Bro. He
Five-
tried. I never told him he can't raise me. He's trying to
550.
raise.
no, I think it was reopened by
No, it's not.
500K, right?
It's not.
It's so funny.
That's what Luis
Oh,
is saying.
okay.
He's saying he wants to reopen, but he can't.
I told
Oh,
him he cannot
okay.
raise me.
That's kind of a read for
Okay,
Luis.
that means he has a good hand, right?
Yeah, exactly what he said. He said that means he has a good
I'm
hand.
happy. He's
So
probably
he's gonna be
win.
very cautious here, even if it's a king high flop.
He's probably gonna win.
He's
Yeah.
just incentivized to fold here a lot.
I don't want him to win.
I really didn't like his call,
Check
but
to.
whatever.
Yeah, and this is one of those flops that
Nick's just gonna jam. He's gonna fold.
yeah,
Fold.
yeah, it's a big loss of 3
Yeah, I
bigs.
didn't like that call. Not when a UTG is opening.
What's worse now is if Ron holds, he's gonna triple
Yeah,
up.
exactly.
Yeah. And that is a card that Ron's gonna like to see. Fading the no.
That's a good
Doesn't
card for
fade.
Nick. More outs.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you got the hand switched. The fours are good.
King Queen one.
Oh yeah.
Oh right.
It
Yeah.
was a good
Yeah,
good
that's right.
turn card for Nick. He turned
Right, Nick did.
the gutter.
Yep.
Ron is gonna take $7,500 for his efforts. GG's to Ron, and now they're top 4, 9,500 locked up,
You're in the zone.
playing for a good amount of money. About 50 bigs. I mean, not 50 buy-ins. So that's a big
No, but I knew he
score
was in
for
his
anybody.
zone because he was over there talking.
You
with
could
her.
raise.
And we see Luis is also turning up the verbal sparring.
He's gonna fold. Fuck no.
He's not getting any cards, so he's really trying to
No, and
mix it up with them.
Of course.
No, I
Come
just
on,
told you.
come on, man.
He gets a little bit more freedom now that since he's the short stack, he can get it in a lot more lighter. He doesn't have to be as cautious.
Yeah, it's interesting though. If you feel like Luis is a crusher, you know, so he might feel like his edge is there in a post flop way.
6 folds.
But no, I know what you mean. I think now he's going to be wanting to shove a lot.
He can definitely add some limps like he is here. Oh, small limps, big one.
Yeah, it's interesting. You should be limping a lot of trash along with your really good hands, but you almost never get the chance to in live poker, you know? Because this spot doesn't come up as much. It's weird.
He just leads and folds. Nice
Yeah, nice bet to Luis there. Luis. Mexican Buddha.
Show my dick.
What did he say?
I don't censor that one out for the stream.
Yeah,
Sorry.
please, guys.
That was a mistake.
Oh, Luis.
Luis tried to show his dick.
I told him.
Luis has just been plain verbal like Will Kassouf.
He might open jam this hand. If folded to.
How drunk are you?
Cliff doesn't open. I would imagine he open jams.
Yeah, I like this shove spot. He's at a really great shoving blind.
Ace-7 doesn't play well post flop. Just get it in.
Yeah, he definitely has the blinds to do these shoves.
Yeah, nice. Good jam.
Oh, wow. This is interesting.
Oh, yeah. That is interesting.
Oh, and you can see she's pained. It's suited.
What do you think? She calling or she folding?
She really likes aces, I tell you. I know she likes aces.
Oh, yeah, she's giving it up. Good fold by her.
It's a big number.
Ace 5 clubs.
More than half her stat.
I probably did what I did.
I think that's wrong, though, isn't it? Looks like she's got like.
Pretend I'm not here.
I know. I look at him like, tell me what
In
to do.
between hands, I want to mention we've got a couple of tournaments coming up this week. Friday, we're going to have a mystery bounty free roll. $25 gets you in for a chance at. We're going to have one of the bounties is going to be $4,000. That's going to be fantastic. That is a $2,400 guarantee. And then Saturday we'll have our $40,000 guarantee tournament, the $300 buy-in.
You're so tight. You folded ace queen earlier. You
So that's things to look forward to.
But I'm bad at it. Good. I played ace queen twice.
Here we are, blind versus blind. Patty and Clint, the battle of the diamonds.
Ooh, top pair for Patty here.
10, 9, 5, 2 clubs.
All in.
Patty, yeah, just shoves. She's going to pick up.
Everything's on Danny.
A lot of spectators for this one. I'm surprised that they haven't discussed the chop yet.
I think they're waiting for another player to be eliminated.
Oh, wait, is that what was out there?
Got a 10 of diamonds.
Danny.
Yeah, I had eight.
Straight black.
Still
8,
tied?
10, I think they were.
Oh, did Raul leave us?
I don't know. Go back and look.
Yeah, he went to go grab something. He'll be back here in a second.
Listen, I'll give you guys one time offer. Take 17,000. You guys do whatever you guys want.
The negotiations are starting
my
I
out.
hear him.
Can I,
Luis,
Only 17,000. That's it.
Can you think about it?
You can
like
think
two
about it.
hands?
Yeah, think about it.
Two hands.
17,000. Right now.
Luis wants 17,000 to stop playing.
2 hands only, okay?
2 hands only?
Asking me 2 hands.
That's a really big ask.
Right?
And he's sober.
Yeah.
He's sober?
But remember, I did just a little while ago
I would
talk
love a
about
limp
the
here. Sorry, go on.
talk about the value of the stacks, and 17,000 was an appropriate number, roughly.
He probably put a little bit of work into that.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I see him.
yeah. No, he knows what he's doing. He's ran it.
Hey, is there a home pot? Boo. Is there a
But
home
he's
pot?
only offering the deal for 2 hands, he said.
Yeah, and I do like that. Like you can't. Those things have to be proposed and they need to be immediately acted on. Actually, what I would do
Because
is even
things change.
pause it. I would say, "Here's what I'm willing to do. Are you guys willing to do it? We're gonna pause the clock for a quick second. Let's discuss." And it's not coming back on the table unless another player busts, right? You can't just continue to negotiate and continue to take time out of this tournament and continue to offer these chops.
You know what I really like and I really respect is the Lodge. The way that they do it is that I don't know if you've ever chopped the tournament at the Lodge, but they have, when you get to a chop format, they give everyone a card that says yes or no.
Yeah, so that no one knows who's saying no
Yeah.
or who's saying yes. Yeah.
I really like that.
She knows me. She knows me.
Yeah, and I mean it's basically
Yeah,
they're doing what you see online and some of the you're right when
Yeah.
you don't know who's saying yes and who's saying no to a deal.
Hold on, Molly. I was all in.
Buddha's going to shove for 2.6 million, but he's going to get it through.
Yeah, and
So that should be the end of the offer, I
that's the end
think.
of his offer. His offer either gets taken now. I have a feeling it's not going to.
Drink coffee, dude.
It doesn't even look like these players are contemplating taking a deal here.
My bad, Molly. I should respect you.
Max Payne.
And I really think that it's not happening because
Where's Mel?
I think that Clint does not want to chop this.
Hey, you can't come.
Yeah, I agree. I think
He feels that he's the most skilled player at the table with the most amount of chips. I don't think he's going to offer a deal unless it's like heads
Well,
up to move some money.
yeah,
around.
he's got 50% of the chips on the table.
My bad. These guys were fucking playing that 1,000 plus.
And he has aces.
And he has
He makes
aces.
me nervous anyway.
So things
Okay,
are
that's different.
continuing to
That's
look
the
up.
point.
Man, I'd like for him to start having a little bit of a limping range at 67 bigs.
Especially with Luis getting feisty. You know, the more he talks,
Ooh, I would have liked a little smaller, but this is about.
Yeah, it's 2.2.
yeah, 2.2. Buddha's got a king.
Don't do it, Luis.
Luis would not be in a great spot. But Nick has an interesting spot too with the king 10 note. Patty, I think she'll probably defend from what we've seen.
1.2 big blinds.
She is going to need to start getting a lead on Luis, which means winning these hands or waiting and do one or the other. The pay jump is 3K at this point, so the next person to bust will get 9.5, and the next person after that is guaranteed 12.5K. So 3K difference.
Well, she does make a laydown. But it's the same situation there where she had a hand that could potentially, she could stack off with if it's just a really nice flop. And it was only for 1.2 big blinds more. So I think that's one where...
Why do I always have the loudest crowd?
I don't know. It's a tough spot.
No, yeah, it's super interesting.
Either
It's interesting if you get just like a 7 high board, for example, where you don't hit two pair.
Remember last time?
What danger you might be in a flop like that. Ooh, and Mexican Buddha going to be waking up with King Queen under the gun here.
King, queen off suit.
14 bigs. I'd like a raise. Does go with the raise. Prefer a raise over a shove here.
2.5. 2.5 big blinds, right? Bet.
Ooh, and he's going to have his opponent dominated here. This is a great spot to be in.
Next, Clint's got a suited king.
And this is huge for everybody, this spot, because because Buddha, the one who doesn't want to chop, sometimes getting someone out that doesn't want to chop can be big. Wow.
He sets him in. Sets them all in.
Yeah, he's just gonna let this go.
That always hurts when someone leads into you and you're the pre-flop aggressor. It's one of the more painful things.
Always on the Mexican.
Nice hand of Clint there, though. That's big. That's actually a really big hand.
He's just lucky that it came
Nice hand.
that he paired his 6 and not his king. Pairs his king, he gives a double up out.
So what does that leave Luis
Try
with?
cross
About
leg,
2.2, 2 point.
Reserve seat 1?
Looks like he has.
Nah. Oh yes.
Yeah, it looks like around 2.2 after
Please
the
let me win, sir.
ante and big blind.
My wife's watching the stream, spending the money right now, probably Amazon.
I have like 3 wives there. Not getting free.
Interesting spot here. Luis. Ooh.
Wow.
They gave
You
me a
can
walk.
see that he really
What's up?
values
Add a
his
king.
current chip position.
The queen.
Suited king.
Again, I mean,
Again, also Luis is probably the next
he's
most,
double
or
up
the
for
most, maybe even the
real.
most experienced tournament player
I don't
at
want
the
to
table
skip it.
left. So
You want a couple wins?
Clint would rather not.
Or yeah, like that.
Well, he'd rather not have Luis on the table, but also he doesn't. He knows that Luis is likely to play back at him.
yeah.
Something.
Yeah, it's strange to know, a lot of the times, I think there's a couple of examples, but
Oh, fuck.
there's some people who are really terrible at cash games and amazing at tournaments, and vice versa. It's always interesting to see, a lot of times people will play someone in cash and then play them in a tournament and not know how to deviate. And that queen 3 suited, if he shoved, I wonder if Buddha, if they played cash games together, maybe he overcalls with the king 4. It's interesting. Ooh. Clint reaching for chips. He's going to be dominated against Patty, who has the pocket 10s.
Patty's all in for 3.6 million. That's a very large bet.
Yeah. Ooh, and Clint's going to lay it down. Gets out of the way of a really rough spot. And looks like we're just going to see max folds. Patty taking it down.
Well done, Patty.
Your favorite hand.
Thank you again to everyone joining in the chats. I'm Ethan Bruin here with Poker Traveler Seti Trevino. Is it Trevino? I'm going to say Trevino.
Where were
and
you?
Rudy Herrera,
Ethan, where are you from?
San Antonio.
Ethnically, where were you from?
Both of my parents are Mexican immigrants.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you don't say Trevino?
Well,
That's where I was going with that.
I'm first gen. So.
Oh, okay. You
yeah.
don't speak Spanish?
No.
No. That's cool. I don't either.
Oh, really?
No, I do.
Oh. Dang, you're supposed to make me feel included.
No, but it's very common, right? In like
In
first
San Antonio.
generation Americans to not speak their like family language. It's more and more common.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big part of my upbringing.
Oh,
Was
okay.
they didn't really want me to learn.
Yeah,
it
that's
was like,
what he's saying.
yeah, that's what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
It goes the other way. They want to try to socialize and.
But then
I think we're gonna get an all in and a call.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and Buddha's gonna be in a terrible position. We'll get back to that conversation in a second. Ace.
do you
6.
think he has enough magic in his bag?
Let's
to
see.
win this?
See how much the Mexican Buddha.
See how much the Buddha really has.
So is Mexican Buddha like a form of Catholicism or a form of?
I think his
Buddhism?
Mexican Buddhism is completely based on physical appearance. I know Luis quite well, and he calls himself the Buddha because of his belly.
Well, he's definitely going to be praying to Buddha for this one.
Yeah.
So we'll see if this ace comes out.
Let's give the maximum sweat. How about the King 7-5 of
A6
hearts?
doesn't lose.
How do you like that?
King 7-5 all hearts.
Yeah.
That sounds like a fun flop.
Yeah.
King 7-5 of hearts, 7 of hearts on the turn,
That would be
4 of
tasty.
hearts on the river.
Yeah.
Monica, por favor.
Oh, and we saw a King 8 folded, so one of Nick's set draws out. No aces have been folded.
I also like the Ace 8 flop.
Wait.
For a maximum.
Super slow, please.
Super slow. Super slow. I love that. And
think
there's
we know the
There's
answer.
a heart. That wasn't slow.
Ace on turn.
King Queen. So he has a King Queen
Ace.
backdoor, and he has a 3
Ace on
outs to
diamond?
the ace.
The dealer has some bling on.
Ace of diamonds.
He's just standing right behind you.
Ace of
Oh,
diamonds.
he's right behind me with this bling.
Oh, we have the
Oh.
back
Okay, now what do you
backdoor
want?
possibility.
7 outs, all clean.
I don't know.
Do we think he can do it?
I don't think he's going to be able to pull it off.
Ace.
He's praying to Buddha.
I don't think Chris can do
Buddha's
it.
gonna get there
Ace on the river.
without the power of Buddha.
And the
he would have never been
dealer's in here. He just got pushed. He's in the booth with us, giving nothing away. Absolutely nothing. You should play poker. You know
I
that?
know what Luis is saying right now. He's saying LFG. I'm not going to tell you what that stands for, but you can Google it if you want.
Barry Greenstein, ace from space.
He has a crowd. He looks like he has the largest rail at the final
As
table.
per usual.
As per usual. Luis,
I told him.
I don't know how many times Luis has final tabled these events,
A lot.
but I'm going to
A
say that
lot.
it's at least like 8, and I'm going to say that it's 8 more than me.
I said,
Do you want to know a fun fact about
He
Luis?
said 2 hands. He's been like 1
I do.
Luis is the 59th ranked player out of Mexico.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in
Out of
all-timer.
59?
And the Hendon mob.
On the Hendon mob. I looked it up, and he is the 59th ranked player on Hendon mob.
That's good to know.
And after today, I'm assuming, what is he guaranteed right now?
95.
9,500?
Yeah.
He is going to at least jump up 6 to 7 spots to about the 52nd, 53rd.
So
Even if he busts
his
right now.
first Fox, I forgot his name.
Elio.
Oh, Elio?
Elliot Fox. There we go.
Yeah, Elio.
You had enough chance actually to get it done.
Elio Fox is not on this list, so he might have changed his country of origin on Hendon. The number 1 ranked player residing from Mexico is JC Alvarado still.
Oh,
I have like
Luis Velador,
5.5
Angel Guillen, Santiago Nadal,
Oh,
and
yeah.
David Cosillo.
didn't know JC was
Yeah,
from.
Yeah, so JC lives
Not
in
even average.
like split time
LA,
between
isn't he?
Mexico and McAllen. He was from the Valley, and
Nah,
one of the guys up to some big things, I'm sure, these days, in probably MMA and crypto and all kinds of things.
All I know is Luis is just couldn't be happier about. He hasn't even stacked his chips yet. He's
No.
just so happy to.
He needs
be back in
people
the
to
running.
know what's happening.
He definitely has the biggest rail.
Yeah, he wants people to know he's not going to go away easily. And honestly, he's going to be a player that's really tough. If he gets to, the second biggest stack at the table, even the third biggest stack at the table.
Well, he's third right now.
Is he third? He moved
Yeah.
up. Oh, that's good.
And
5 million.
That's a mug. That's a mug.
I like that move.
him and Nick, well, not after that hand, but him and Nick were neck to neck. Now Nick has a little bit of a lead, but Patty has somewhere around 4.2 mil.
Nick, where are you
She has 4 points, so she's in 4th place now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Luis has 5.
Okay.
The kill zone says, "Is this a first hand of cards this guy has won?" There's a lot of money on the line, and Luis has a title to get to, so he has a title to defend as he's won a couple of events here already. So he's popping off for many reasons.
So to
Not just
answer the
winning.
question very nicely, this is
If it
not
was
his
just
first hand.
easy,
It's over 1.
Yeah, the over is over 1.
No, I mean, I personally love to see emotion from players. It's a huge portion of poker that is underrated because everyone thinks emotion shouldn't be allowed. But I mean, come on, you're playing for so much money. It's such a fun.
There's
game.
definitely some times where I wish I had more emotion because the cards flip and I don't react either way typically.
before I look,
Always see
Patty's
Raul.
shelling with 4s.
I used to pop off hard. I probably would still pop off at the final tables, but hard to say.
Raul, we just saw you on the screen. You must have crept in on the rail.
He was,
Supporting your boy. Were you there for the double up?
he was out railing Luis.
I was so mad. What the fuck is wrong?
Patty actually now is about.
For real.
Can we make up interesting backstories about these players? I
Yeah,
have
let's do
quite the skill.
it. Okay.
It's kind of like it's a really intense skill that I have, that I'm able to determine what these people do for a living.
All right, Clint, go.
Well, he was in the Army.
Okay.
He's a former Vietnam veteran.
Oh, really?
And he actually runs a nonprofit these days for dogs that don't have homes.
I believe you.
Yeah.
I'm not sure because you've played cash games with him.
Yeah.
so-
No, I'm serious. That's what he does.
This
Oh,
is what
really?
he. Yep.
No,
This
this is not what he does. I'm just making up complete lies, but I think it's funny. Patty is also known as Peppermint Patty. She's really big into Christmas and all the holidays.
That's why she's wearing white.
Oh yeah, she's a very nice lady, kindest person out there.
By
And a
far.
crusher at the table. And
You can raise.
Also runs a nonprofit for cats.
no, yeah, I bet you she was a former VP in the financial services industry, and now she just she just chills and plays with her children and grandchildren.
That makes sense. You know, I like that backstory. I like that backstory.
It might be completely off, but it's just my
No,
reading.
run into like.
And Luis was the governor of Mexico.
Luis had an aspiring career in child acting in Mexico, but unfortunately, an injury,
A tennis injury.
a tennis injury caused him to give up his acting career and his tennis career, and now he lives in the United States.
And eats Chinese food whenever he can,
Yeah.
as often as possible.
Yeah, he also has a vest that resembles Marty McFly from Back to the Future.
really
Big fan
does.
of Back to the Future and all of Michael J. Fox movies.
And the person you know least,
He said,
Nick,
what the fuck we play tomorrow?
He played AA baseball in the Astros Farm League.
Sure.
He's gonna let me do
What
tomorrow.
position, by the way?
Second base.
Second base.
Yeah, he was a great second baseman out of Cuba.
Good range.
Yeah. He
But
deflected-
interestingly, he played left-handed, right?
Yeah,
He threw-
yeah, which
threw
is really
left-handed.
weird.
You
for
don't
a
see that at second base very often.
Super weird. But he was that good. He was that good.
We're going to see a flop. A little bit of connectivity as Clint hitting top pair will often give Patty a straight draw of some sort.
If Patty checks, I want to see Clint bet 100% of the time.
Yeah, interesting. Patty has been leading out when she limps here. And this is actually a great spot to lead.
Peppermint Patty, she's just so savage. Look at that.
Cool.
She just
Yeah.
owned him.
That's a great
Owned.
merge of her of her range there. Like if she's limping in hands like Jack 9
Yeah.
and betting here.
If I was her, I'd look at Clint in the face and just say like, "You have no shot here, bro. I got you. I got you."
I actually really liked that lead. I thought that was pretty well played there.
As usual, I think the guys are watching guys and lady are watching a game.
Yeah, I think that's the Kansas City Chiefs game.
Okay.
It's wrapping up.
Luis popping off as hard as he doubled up with the football game.
There might be some action on the line.
You think he has more than what he's making right now?
I don't think he has more, but poker players are known to also sports bet.
Anybody you know? Sports bets?
Not me, man. People give me locks every once in a while, and
I
I
don't even
just
know what
bet
that is.
I bet the opposite, and I usually win because a lock is a for sure winner, and people couldn't be more off usually.
Yeah, the only thing I know is that guy who made a $1.1 million bet to win 15K and ended up losing.
Yeah, yeah.
So you can see our chip stacks very close together in everybody except for Clint. And you can see our payouts there. Difference in second and fourth is huge. It's going to be a 8K difference there, which is a lot of money for a lot of people. I mean, second is making almost as much as fourth, or I mean, almost double as much as fourth, which is pretty crazy.
YouTube chat, Twitch chat. Let us know what you want to know about these four players, and we will find out the answer to your question, or I will make up a lie.
Yeah, I want to hear your story about me sometime.
Yeah.
Ooh, big raise here from Patty. Oh, wait, no. Getting the numbers wrong. Normal raise.
Yeah. I mean, a little bigger than normal raise.
Yeah. Like 2.2 there.
That's 7 deuce, not a thing.
Patty's going to take that down, add to her stack.
So are you originally from San Antonio, Seti?
Yeah, I've lived here pretty much forever.
2-0 represent.
Yeah, I went to high school here, went to college here.
Where'd you go to high school?
I went to a high school called Health Careers High School in the medical center. It's a
yeah.
magnet school.
Well, I went to ISA, so we were always
yeah.
it was always like a competition between.
Yeah. I probably graduated like 20 years before you.
Probably before I was born.
I graduated in 2001, so you were born. But,
I was 1999.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 years old when you graduated.
But the schools, when I was there, it was a like nationally ranked school, top 10 in the U.S.
Yeah.
Still a really good school. But yeah, then I stayed here and I went to St. Mary's in San Antonio and never left.
Ooh, wow. Patty's going to defend here with the King 5 offsuit. Oh, never mind.
Dude,
Well,
she's...
Buddha made it 575.
Yeah, she's faking people out. She grabs those chips and just also grabs her cards at the same time with the same hand. And you never know what she's going to do.
Which is going in.
Yeah,
Chips or the cards.
I like the move. She has moves. Yeah.
Luis chipping up.
Yeah. I don't know if Luis won a hand or if he's still stacking his chips from his all-in from 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, it's a super tense moment. You can kind of feel the tension.
I love it, though.
Yeah, I love it, too.
I love it.
That pain is what we all live for, right? What we all play poker for.
Do you like the pain more than the happiness?
I used to. I found to like the happiness more.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I lost too much money.
That's
to,
very healthy. That's
yeah.
very healthy of you. It's scary when you like the pain.
No, it took a long break. Like I took a long break from poker to try to regain that happiness. I think that's a problem that a lot of pros go through, which is just the mundaneness of every day. Sometimes like being a little hard, but like getting into loving the game again is huge.
Sure. I'm lucky enough that I've never played poker professionally as my main source of income. So
get out of here.
Yeah. So
raise with the Queen Jack here.
Under the gun, Nick folded ace deuce. So it was an interesting decision.
Yeah, I think now he's realizing that they're so close together in stack depth. You might just want to outlast Patty or Luis.
The last orbiter, so Patty's been the most active player in the pot, entering most pots.
how many? Do you know how many chips Clint started this final table with?
Yes.
11, 10 million around there.
It was 10.1.
He has not moved at all.
He went up 2 mil. Yeah.
Well, he went. Yeah, he was up to 15 at one point.
Okay. I just mean in general, like he has not widened the gap of his lead at all. These players have done a better job of chipping up than he has of taking them out.
Yeah. Oh wow.
I think he's counting on them to kind of fight amongst themselves to try to knock one of the other guys out. He wants to stay above the fray.
Oh, this is a weird spot for Luis because, like you said, Clinton really hasn't been active. So, wow.
He also is in the small blind, and he doesn't really know what Nick's gonna do behind him with the short stack. So.
Well, I thought he was going to 3-bet. He had that purple chip in his hand.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see many 3-bets from 2 weak hands. And
Queen Jack 3-2 clubs. It's a gut shot for Nick. It's a different zip code for Clint, but he's reaching for chips.
it's going to hit him a lot.
Yeah, he makes it 800K. He doesn't have to make his bet this big. I wouldn't be making my bet this big, but I mean, I think it's going to work either
What?
At the same time, we said, "Well, we see him grab the 800." Wow.
Oh my gosh, this is surprising.
So he has either one of two plans: hit the 10 or bluff the turn, and it's gonna be interesting to see if he doesn't hit it, what he does.
Well, the problem is that if you hit your 10, a lot of the bluffs are going to come from King 9 and Ace King.
So this is what I was saying. He was most likely going to miss. Is he going to donk lead?
What?
Wow. That looks like 1.4, maybe?
And Luis is kicking himself right now. Obviously, watching this, he's probably thinking that
1.3.
he made a good fold, but
Clint's sitting there with... He's assuming that he really only has 4 outs. I don't think that he thinks a 7 or a 6 is really enough.
Oh, he just cut the chips on the side to see if he could get a read.
when did this start happening?
Yeah, like this is a hand that I would have never expected to happen based on the last, 100 hands that we've seen today.
It's a complete deviation from the whole everything.
For both players. The whole time they've been staying out of each other's way.
What?
He does have position on him.
Just a call here.
Yeah.
I can't even put words together
Somebody's
for this
going
one.
to try to claim a club if a club pops off. There's a two of clubs, the deuce of clubs on the river. So Nick may have had this plan all along to
This is really
bluff a
this
club.
is really, really, really hard. I mean, I know Nick's there with 9 high, but he's now, like his opponent has been just calling this turn with possibly a club draw, and now it's a really tough card for him to lead out and represent after betting that turn.
Wow, this is such a interesting spot. I try to think of what hands are doing this on either side.
Depending on the size of the bet, I mean, Clint's only move is to jam all in if Nick bets small or if he checks. That's the only way he's going to win this pot. Okay, he checked. Clint has to go.
Clint
for
has to bet.
it. He can't just show 7 high.
There's so much money out there. He's got to. Nick only has 2.4
Did he say
million
all in?
behind.
He said all in. He had to say all in. Yeah, and the hand's over. Nick is obviously not calling with 9 high.
Oh my God! Did I never see that hand playing out like that? I will tell you.
Yes. Like
Yeah.
it.
That's a situation of.
Oh, and he shows the 7-6.
I like it.
What's funny is he shows the 7-6, but it's like you're against 9 high, you know? Yeah.
I like to consider that what I call compounding mistakes. Like, in my mind, Nick made a mistake on every street of that hand, and on the river, like
He has the
he
balls.
just ended up in the worst possible position.
Yeah. For a lot of that was that's something that happens a lot on stream that we see a lot is that a lot of people will lead out in spots that don't really hit their range. And a lot of the times they don't get punished because of the short-term variance of it, but when they do, it's like really bad, versus the time that's working out. So that's an interesting, a really interesting spot. Wow. I would have never imagined that spot playing out the way it did, I have to say.
Come on, Clint.
Clint's going to take a little break after that.
Where is that you did
How
it
about it?
again? Want to say it again? I'll say it again.
Who made me show it?
Boo, right? It's always Boo's fault. Fuck it.
So Nick just completes with the 6-3 and Patty checks behind, having him dominated. $10-10-8.
Yeah. Patty's not going
Diamonds.
anywhere here.
She's just going to go ahead and bet. She gets a piece of that flop. You'll know it. She'll let you know.
I gotta say, that was one of the more crazy hands I've seen on stream. I like the recognition from Clint to not check back on that river. I was half afraid that he would.
I don't think so. Once he called that bet on the turn,
Yeah, it was super interesting.
and then it was checked to him on the river.
I wonder if
was-
a 7 comes, if like, was he hoping for a 4? Was he hoping for a club, or like, if a 7 comes, you think he calls like a offsuit 7?
Well, if
I mean,
Nick
I think he
shoves-
does. I think he does just because in his I don't think how you only play your hand to only hit the straight, right?
Yeah.
You're either thinking that you can hit the straight and your cards to win, like maybe the other player has just ace high, or your plan is just to represent a scare card and just rip all in no matter what.
Yeah.
Which is what he did. Which is a really wild hand.
blind versus blind again, Patty and Clint. Patty just completes. Clint raises and she calls.
Yeah, I actually would have I would have been okay with a check here.
Limp raise
With a
call.
hand as strong as 10-9.
Never.
I think it connects really well with the limping range and dominates a ton of the limping range.
When they did it, yeah, it's like,
You say the 10-9 dominates?
Yeah, when we think about Patty's limping range, it's going to be a lot of like 8-7, 6-7, 8-9. So a lot of times you are going to dominate that. This board, though, is great spot for when he does raise. And she with the backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw.
She's got backdoor clubs.
It does fold.
That's a pretty good flop for her hand.
Pretty flop? Probably not.
I had already told myself, I'm gonna play this hand,
I like
raise, I'm shoving, and then I back out.
She's sharing a little bit about what she was thinking through that hand with the table.
Yeah, I think that's a big life thing. A lot of people will share what they feel.
Yeah, they're playing for a lot of money. You know, there's only 4 people left. I don't know if that's the best idea, to be honest.
All in.
She says all in with the queen 10. See if Louise wakes up with something. Nope.
No.
Thank you for being not suited.
Patty's got 4.7 million. The Buddha's at 5.
Suited this time.
Roughly even stacks. And I think Nick is
Yeah.
gonna have. He's down to what, like 2.4 million.
Oh, I think the deuce 8.
No, I said eight.
No,
She
I
said
didn't
yeah.
have an 8. Yeah.
You didn't have an ace?
I did not.
Ace close.
Just close.
Close. Can't be that far. The king get the
It's
plus.
not, yeah.
The king get the plus, so it can't be that far. Easy game.
Rudy, after the tournament, would you like to have an adult beverage at the bar?
Nothing
you
would
can
make me
only go on
happier
in
than
one
having
floor.
a double. Are you just gonna watch me?
Yeah.
I figured.
Yeah, I'm
You're
gonna
not
buy you.
participating.
I'm gonna buy you an adult beverage at the bar.
I'll have an adult beverage at the bar. I don't drink, but I'll have one.
I didn't ask
Do
you.
you have? I hear something. There's some,
Oh, I got
No,
demolished.
no. Ethan is going to come to the bar as well to be my sober buddy,
Okay.
and we are going to both
Watch me.
watch Rudy have an
I'll
adult
drink
beverage.
one for all.
Oh, you
three.
don't drink either?
No.
Oh, dang. You
Not
seem
now.
like someone who would.
I mean, I used to.
He does,
I
but-
did like a 6-month like personal thing, and I finished it. And,
Oh, it's over.
And now I feel like I'm not gonna ever drink again.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I've never really drank,
Yeah, yeah.
but like that's a big reason was I never wanted to have to put myself in a position where I have a very addicted personality,
Sure,
you know.
sure.
So,
I thought. Is it supposed to be both? No.
but congratulations to you.
Oh yeah.
I don't even know you anymore. Sebby.
What? So this is oh wow.
Buddha.
Here we go. We have a hand. When we don't have a hand, I have an interesting topic for us to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah, this is interesting with Buddha. This is the kind of hand that you want to shove against someone who is tight as Buddha. This is the bottom of your bluff shove. But the thing is that Nick has such a lower stack than you. So he does just
Oh,
fold.
nice fold.
I like it.
650.
I like it.
650 raise from Clint. But the ace-10 is going to get the job done.
So rank the players' outfits in order of best to worst. Right
Luis
here.
is definitely fourth.
Luis is fourth. Okay, Luis is fourth.
I think Patty's first.
Do you like Patty in number one, or do you like the military style jacket of Clint?
You know, I picture Patty in like a nice like $800,000 house somewhere, like somewhere in San Antonio.
She's probably not
like,
struggling.
Yeah, like
I'll take the over.
And I
Take the over.
I think about like, you know, that jacket that she's wearing,
Yeah.
that shirt that she's wearing is very like. I just think of the cozy like fireplace, and
it's pretty
nice.
It's pretty
you know?
funny because when I play, like poker players, right? We always have to make assumptions based on people's, like the demographic, you know, what they look like, how they conduct themselves.
Yeah.
And when I see a nicer, older lady at the table, the first thing I look at is at her ring, her wedding ring, if she has one. And if so, I see how large it is, right? And if the ring is very, very large, I'm just like, I'm not going to bluff this woman because money doesn't matter, right? It's the same reason I remember when I was a lot younger, I got into a really big hand where I had to make a decision whether to call a really, really big bet on the river or fold. And I didn't know what to do. It was like a 50-50. And like some people would just like flip a coin or like use like
Look
an
at the
RNG in
watch.
their head, look at their watch or something. And I just didn't know what to do. And then I noticed that the gentleman's sleeve on his dress shirt had like slightly came up, like just a tad to show his watch.
The Rolly?
And I said, is that a Daytona Rolex? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, I call. I immediately called, right? Because money didn't matter, and I knew that he was going to be more willing to bluff into me a huge number. And he's like, I have 8 high. And I said, okay, I can beat that. He's like, why did you ask me about my watch? And I said, because you can afford to bluff that river.
Ooh, I think we got a call with the ace-5. Wow.
Let's go.
Snap call, actually.
Let's go. He's super excited. Well, you know, he's not that far ahead. This is a fair fight. It's a 60-40.
Yeah, we saw a king folded by Patty.
It is
like six big blind race, right?
Yeah.
And Nick D is going to need some help on the 60-40.
He wants it slow.
Oh my gosh, what a flop.
Oh,
2
wow.
diamonds.
And
The
a gut
jacks.
shot.
And you can see equities pretty much didn't change here.
Yeah, it's still a 60-40.
6 of clubs.
Ooh, I feel it.
Oh,
Okay,
no.
okay. That really doesn't change anything.
No,
in
it
terms
doesn't.
of outs.
8 of hearts.
80-20.
Any diamond, any jack is going to be needed for Nick D to stay alive. Otherwise, we're going to 3-handed. Let's see the river coming up right now.
Yes.
It's a
He
7.
wins. Luis,
Clean run out for Luis.
Luis knocks out Nick.
Good
And
games to Nick.
Fourth place, correct?
Fourth place, but second place in the fit. I like his fit.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
Second
Yeah.
place in the fit.
I was gonna give him 3rd, but it doesn't. You know, we can. It goes both ways. I like it. 9,500 for Nick being taken home. Can't be too mad about 50 buy-ins, but always thinking about what could have been. But
So there's about $54,000 total in the prize pool left, and even chop would be $18K. I wonder if there's going to be some sort of deal proposed now. Luis has tightened the gap between first and second now. Patty's in third. I don't know how far she is away from
It's
him.
all luck, mama. Mama, it's all luck, mama. You know it's all luck. You know it's all luck.
The game goes on.
You know, mama.
Yeah, I don't think
Next
they're.
hand.
I don't think
It's
they're
all
doing
luck. No
anything.
skill.
no, I mean, I think that Clint and Mexican Buddha might feel like they have a really good
Yeah,
edge.
it's 67 bigs, 27 bigs, and then I assume Patty has what 15, 17 bigs.
But Patty has been playing pretty good in a lot of spots. You know, I think everyone always thinks that we're the best player at the table when we get to one. I mean, not unless you're at a really strong table. So
I'm gonna be honest, and I
Jason
know a lot of times that I have to be realistic, and I know that when I get to some of these final 18, that sometimes I'm like the 6th best player at these tables.
Yeah.
Like, you just have to be self-aware.
it's hard to be. I think it's a hard thing to have. But here we're gonna see a gut shot for folds with the overs and a gut shot.
Whoa!
Cards attacking her.
Wild. We're getting wild. It's gonna get weird.
I'm very surprised to see him fold the 10-8 there. I guess he thinks that maybe he's not going to be able to hit a clean turn, but
He just didn't want to be put in a weird spot. She's been you know, she's pretty sticky. If she has overcards, it's going to be tough for him to get through. I think he's just going to wait for a better spot or once he catches breath, you know.
Yeah, with the limp pot, I would have liked to see it continued by Luis, but definitely a large part can be catching your breath.
There's a lot of people in the room that are right around him.
Come on, man. They're fucking up.
Yeah, he's in a great spot now, 8 bigs ahead of Patty. We're going to see the raise by the Jack-10 suited. Probably going to get through with the 9-2 offsuit.
Not by much, but by
I was going to say I like Clint's fit because it just has like a sort of like je ne sais quoi, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Most poker players dress for comfort. I always fit in that category of being very comfortable at the table.
Yeah.
But now when I play bigger tournaments out of town, I've been dressing up a little more.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I try to as well.
I appreciate that. I appreciate the effort.
I'm putting the
when you
effort
walk
in.
Yeah.
I'm putting. Well, not so much here, but when I'm out of town, it was mostly because of my wife. She's like, you know, it's always the hoodie, it's always the hat, it's always the Lululemon joggers. So this last time,
You put a
I
little
took
bit more
off the
effort.
hat, I took off the hoodie, I put on a dress shirt, I kept the Lululemon joggers. It looked good. It looked good, and I combed my hair.
I thought you were
And
gonna...
you know what? I felt great. And I got 13th place at Chalk Talk.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
There we
How
go.
about that?
Looking fresh and making money.
I think if anything, if I don't want to wear a hoodie, I'm gonna wear a nice crew neck sweater.
Yeah, that's always good.
Yeah.
Crew neck sweaters on guys like us, they look good.
Yeah. Guys like us.
I don't know what that means.
me and Seti have a very similar like look.
Yeah.
You know, like
We all
So
look
your
alike.
wife is an influencer, right? She influenced you, tried to ask you to
My
step up
wife
your game.
influences me on every aspect of her and my
And
life.
I invited
That's
you
what wives do.
to our little place. The
oh,
gym
sorry
place.
to interrupt. We have a big hand here.
Tens versus King Jack.
Ooh, and she goes all in.
Patty's gonna shove.
Did Clint raise here?
Yeah.
Clint
Okay.
did raise.
Clint raised. Patty Jamdel in 5.2 million.
His raise
which is
was
20 bigs.
600.
Yeah, 21 bigs. So it's another 4.6 million to call. That's a lot of chips for him to call. I think he's just gonna let it go.
Yeah, 16 bigs. He does have 63 bigs.
His hand is easily dominated by her jamming hands like Ace King.
Yeah.
She's probably not going to jam King Queen, but she's very certainly going to jam Ace King, and she's a lot of times going to have Jacks or better. So he's just going to fold this. I don't know if he's taking a while. He does this a lot. He cuts out these chips. I assume trying to get a reaction.
Sometimes it's going to be a flip like it is now, but other times, a lot of times, he's going to be dominated.
Yeah, just so few times. Like I would say that.
Oh, does she show? She shows the tens.
1 out of 5 times it's a flip in this situation. Most of the times he's a dog in the head.
Another good pickup. She just picked up 1.1 million, so about 20% of her stack. It's a nice pickup. So well done, Patty.
Thank you to everyone for watching. We're here in San Antonio, Texas at Rounders Card Club. Best card club in San Antonio, 100%. One of the best, if not the best in Texas. Let me know what you think, but definitely come out and play. This tournament has been going on for a couple days now. We reached the final 3. 25K up top, 12K locked up. See who gets their share of that. Thank you again for watching.
I've been playing at Rounders for a long time, and I played when they first opened at the old location. When I say when they first opened, I mean like when they opened, and even before they opened.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering what member number I am. If there was a list, an order number, what member number I am of the card room.
I was there.
Rudy, you were there.
I was there the opening night.
You were there
as well.
opening night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I checked it out before it opened.
Yeah, the first time I walked in was when the
But
grand
opening night, how did you hear about it?
Manny, the dealer.
Manny the dealer. Oh, did we play at another card room back in the day? Before?
River City,
right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I used to play at River City.
RIP River City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
RIP.
I never.
Oh, that's right.
Did I ever see you?
I don't think so.
That's great because I wasn't old enough to go to Rounders, so I played at River City.
Oh, Rounders didn't exist.
I didn't play
Oh,
that.
well,
Yeah, so we were playing there before this card room.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the owner at
That's
River
when I
City
thought
used to
you
stake
were
me.
you were a normal. I thought you were a normal poker player back then. At
What
River
does that
City.
mean? Like trying to make a living playing poker?
Well, I don't know. Just there was a time where you were like kind of playing poker with regular stakes.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
no, for
and
sure.
then
Yeah.
a couple of years later, like a
Things
year
jumped
Rounders
up.
is pretty
Yeah.
normal, and then
Yeah.
things just exponentially went up.
Yeah, I think that was like if you look back at it,
Because I knew you when you still had a job.
Yeah, if you look at a lot of the guys that play the high stakes games here in San Antonio, they all started somewhere. Like none of them started playing 10-25, right? Everybody started somewhere. And it's funny, but I look back at some of those like 1-2 games, and they were the 1-2 games where like Yu-chan was just starting to play.
I remember.
I was
played with
just
Yu-chan
starting to
back then.
play. Chaz was just starting to play. And now everybody plays for heaps, There's a lot of players that aren't around anymore, but there's a lot of them that still are.
Yeah, well, it looks like they're going to be on break right now. So this is just a reminder of what we're watching is the $100,000 guarantee, the roundup, and we had 989 players in this tournament. I was 5 of them.
I was also 5 of them, and I can honestly say that when I saw that Rounders was having a 100K guarantee, every time they have 100K, 200K, 300K or bigger, I just want to do well because I live in San Antonio.
Right.
I want people to know that I can do well in San Antonio and not just in a cash game, right? And then I just don't, man. It effing hurts. Deep down, it hurts. I don't think anybody wanted it more than me.
It'd be nice.
Nobody
I'm
wanted
not sure
it more
about
than-
that.
There was
but
980 entries, you said?
Not
Not one
89,
person.
yeah.
Not one
one.
person wanted it more than me.
Yeah, it's nice to walk into a place where you can point to the final table where you went really deep on, and
One
But
day
you'll get there.
One day, and it could have been 6 months ago. If one turn card comes different at the main event, and we
gosh.
get to that final table, do
Yeah.
you think that Rounders might have put a poster or a picture of me on the wall?
Oh,
Yeah, that would have been
I'd
awesome.
be disappointed if that didn't happen. Yeah.
It'd be cool if we
I
did
would
that.
but you know what? Honestly, what I would have wanted, I was so excited about that final, like the possibility of the final table or the 7 or day 8, because there was so many people that were gonna show up that next day,
Yeah.
and the rail was gonna be ridiculous. And honestly, whenever hopefully I win a tournament one day, it doesn't matter what it is, WSOP, WPT, smaller one. I just want that winner's photo, but I want 2 winners photos, right? I want the normal one that everybody has, but I want one with everybody that's there, all the boys,
Yeah,
the fun one.
Yeah.
Everybody's excited.
where everyone's like up together, and
Everybody's
going
like,
crazy.
yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I was
And then you know that the night's gonna get out of hand. Like immediately.
I was in contact with you when you were making
Yeah.
that in the middle of your deep run,
Yeah.
and I was seriously considering flying out there. I told you, if you
Yeah.
make it to to the certain point, I'll book a flight and come on out there. But there's so much that you have to go through.
So much has to go right.
So many hours of grinding and just surviving.
There's so many cool people that we've met here in Texas playing cards together, and I remember specifically there was multiple people, Eric and Dave here from Rounders and my buddies from the lodge, especially Skull Mike, were like, we're all booking tickets right now. And then I remember Mike saying, I was just about to click buy and I saw that you busted.
Yeah, that's the thing. You gotta survive.
So many people were going for day 7, and then unfortunately we weren't able to make it. But yeah, that's what's so cool about the World Series. I love just being there and like another buddy being deep in a tournament or at a final table and being able to watch, being able to cheer, being able to console, being able to celebrate.
Yeah, celebrate, yeah.
I love the energy every time I've gone to the WSOP. I mean, I was very fortunate to be out there for a month with a good player, and I was able to really meet a lot of people and see the energy, like something I couldn't really live too much, from like final table perspective of myself, but being able to be around that energy, it's really great.
Yeah.
And anyone who's in the chat who is just joining us right now, we're on break, but we have the top 3 right now. And the way that things have been going, I don't see a chop coming anytime soon.
Yeah, I really do think that if there is any kind of deal that's made, it's going to happen heads up. And it's not going to be an outright chop. It's going to be, let's move some money around to make these payouts a little closer.
Yeah.
And let's play for the trophy.
Well, for example, our $1 million guaranteed that we smashed ended up heads up against with two very good players, very capable players. And they were going back and forth for a long time. Eventually, they just said, you know what, let's just chop full even.
Oh, okay. Which one was that?
The 1 mil guaranteed. Okay. The guy who had like maybe 10 big blinds more, they were both like 60, 70 big blinds deep. He asked for like 5K more in the trophy, and that's it.
Yeah, I think that would be part of my chop. I guess that would be my deal breaker. Like, I would need the trophy.
Yeah,
I would
see
even
his face on the magazine.
Yeah,
still,
yeah.
the
Like,
guy who won.
you could even have more money. You can have $1 more than me. I just want the trophy.
Drew was. We were talking about this. It's like, how much in equity would you give up for, like, let's say it's 200K for first and 150K for second, or 140K for second?
Yeah.
Would you be willing to give away like 10K for the trophy? You know, like if it was an even split, 170, and you got 160 and they got 170, but you get the trophy.
Yeah, I just think that. I don't know.
Because then did you win the trophy?
No, yeah, I wouldn't do that. I think that the person that earns the trophy still has to earn the higher payout, but I'd be willing to give almost all of it away. Right? I would take $1 more and the trophy, and I'd be willing to give almost all of that chop away to be even if I could get to a trophy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's how a lot of people play. You see, for me, I just want the money.
Well, hopefully we can get heads up, right?
And then
and then you're like, take the trophy. I'll be like, all right, here's the money. Right?
Yeah, I used to really want the trophy, but man, I just kept hunting the trophy, and it's so hard to get. Tim Kraft in the chat says LFG. We're almost there, just on break right now. In fact, it looks like Maddie, who is in the chat, Maddie, one of our dealers, great person, played on stream recently. I'm going to go use the restroom, and I'm going to leave Seti all by his little own self.
Oh, man. I'm going to have to read the YouTube chat so that I have something to talk about.
You know what? I'll stay with you until Rudy comes.
Oh, okay. Let's see what is in the chat, though. I'm just going to give some shout-outs to who I see in the chat right here. I'm going to say what's up to... Dude, what kind of computer is this? This is wild. To Apple product.
Yeah, I only use
Choose
Samsung.
NBA, what's up? Turbo Hemi, what's up? Joe B, Tim Kraft, Ghost of M, Michael McCardle. He wants to know where the Cheetos are. That's an inside joke. I'll go ahead and let you guys in on the inside joke. Me and Mike joke that he lives in the upstairs of one of my houses, and that the only way he knows how to get up and down and out of the home is if I leave a trail of Cheetos all the way down the stairs and out the door. What's up, Joe B?
All right, I'm going to go use the restroom now that Rudy is back.
What's up, Reels and Reels? Good luck to the top 3. What's up, Dave? Thank you for saying that. Nice seeing you the other day. Oh, I kind of took your spot, Rudy.
That's okay, you're good there. Hey, just a reminder, guys, about the upcoming tournaments we have this week. Friday is going to be a mystery bounty. Those are fun.
Oh.
We've got one big bounty. Well, we've got several bounties, but the biggest one is $4,000.
This Friday is a mystery bounty tournament?
It is. It's a free roll mystery bounty.
I'm out of town this weekend. You know what? You're going to have to win that then, right, Rudy? I'm going to go out of town.
I'll see what I can do.
And pull the big bounty.
Yeah, that's fun.
I heard... Do you know who Alan Kessler is?
Uh-huh.
Somehow I ended up in a tweet storm, a tweet thread that was all positive. It was basically about one of the nice guys, tournament pros, reporter guys saying, "Hey, I'm going to a tournament series. If any of you want to split a house with me, I have some extra rooms here." And he tagged several tournament players that travel around that he knew.
Okay. And you were one of the taggees?
And I was one of them, and Alan Kessler was one of them. And it turned into Alan Kessler being Alan Kessler. And just like all negativity, right? Just usual stuff. I love Chainsaw. But it was him, just voicing his opinions, and I got tagged in this 100 thread back and forth, and I wasn't even tired. I eventually just had to mute the thread, and it was.
You guys were playing ping, got into a real intense ping pong.
It wasn't even
match,
like nobody was being malicious towards you. They were just all talking. It was just back and forth, but it was hilarious. I love Twitter because it's just so funny.
Well, real quick, it looks like they're back at the table. I just want to finish up on this mystery bounty. It's a $20,000 guarantee, but the largest bounty is $4,000. So we got that on Friday, and then Saturday's our $40,000 guarantee tournament, and that's a $300 buy-in.
I'm going to start to play all the Saturday tournaments when I'm in town. Every single one that I can, I'm going to play. So how can we get back to full screen on the...
Working on that now.
Okay.
Oh.
So, guys, we're three-handed. In first place, first chip position currently we have Clint. Second chip position we have Luis. And third chip position we have Patty.
He said he was watching me on
They just came back from a break. Payouts are, I think, 25K, 17.9, and 12.5 is my guess. Somewhere around there. And
our director just walked back into the production booth. He'll get that sorted out for us. There we go.
There we go. So we're joining the action.
Patty's got a gut shot, but Clint's blocking. Oh, that's an interesting card.
3 clubs. Patty has the jack of clubs. Patty just with king jack high, but she does have a club draw. She does have a straight draw. And she does have 2 overs to Clint's 10-9. She went ahead and led 800K into a 3.1 million chip pot. And it's up to Clint to decide what he's going to do here with third pair.
Before nothing, like $3 and hell yeah, hopefully he wins.
I actually really like this sizing on the turn. This lets you see free cards, but also with your value, you might get 10-9 to call. Wow.
It looks like that's a raise.
Wow.
He's going to set her all in, and she's going to snap call.
Well,
no, she goes.
No, she went all in. He raised.
Oh, that's only 1.8.
He raised to 1.8. She made it 800K.
Yep.
He made it 1.8, and she auto jammed. This is a sick, savage move. She made it 4.4 mil with just king high, just a straight draw, just a flush draw, and he's just in the blender. I don't think he can call even with 2.6 million. Even though he's getting like 3.7 to 1, he's just he doesn't think a 9's good here with her.
That's what
she had this in mind. She decided she was going to do this when she made that small bet.
No, I love this play, honestly. That's why I really like that turn bet sizing, was that if you do have value here, you want a hand like 10-9 to re-raise you. So she's doing this for value. She's doing this for bluffs, and obviously she's even re-shoving with this bluff. I love this play by Patty.
Look at her face. She's just so resolute.
I think she's going to come back and win this tournament now. After I saw this, she has it in her to just own.
She's going to show it.
He's asking for one time. Oh, she's going to show it. She showed it. She showed it.
That might be one of my favorite plays of this final table.
Oh, my God.
He thought that she had 2 clubs when he first turned it over.
Everyone's surprised.
That's savage, right? What's a better word?
Savage? No, savage is perfect.
Savage?
I mean, other than savage, I can say that she just literally now owns his soul.
No, that was amazing. That was a highlight.
She has his soul currently in a jar above her refrigerator, and she lets it out for air when she wants.
Complete control.
David Jones?
Yeah.
There's her husband.
Oh, that's her husband. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
uh-huh.
I think I've played with him
And
before.
coach.
Yeah.
I mean, she coaches him.
Yeah.
Oh, I made that up.
It's
Man.
believable.
I really like that play by Patty. Great stuff.
Patty doing Patty things from the chat. Nice play. Don't show. Tough as nails. That's all
Delightful lady in the Twitch chat says, hello, loving the commentary, watching from Australia.
true. Hey,
Love Australia. Hope you're having a good one.
good day, mate.
I was going to make the joke. I
stole it from you.
Howdy,
I was
partner.
not sure if I should or not.
No,
So
I had to get in there. I've never had the opportunity to ever say good day, mate.
It's not that
I
often.
had to.
Good day.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends from Australia.
Do you?
Luckily. Yeah.
I have a lot of friends from nowhere. Oh, that's really cool. She's all the way in Australia. That's like, dude, that's like plus 18 hours, I mean, plus
Yeah.
20 hours.
It's
from
at
us.
least 10 miles away from where we are right now.
Yeah, it's over 10. Okay, here we go. What do you think of that? When people raise and they just grab like an odd
Like
amount
3
of
inches.
chips. Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
yeah.
How much is that bet? Oh, it's this
Yeah,
much.
yeah. How much
This
was that
many-
bet? And they say 3 inches,
Yeah.
right? Because they just grabbed chips and threw
3
them.
inches of green.
Definitely feels a little weaker just because
It's weaker from this type of player. It's weaker from a player like Clint who knows what he's doing, who's very calculated, and in this case he does it. It's kind of weird.
and there's a lot going on in his brain, you know? Like there's even like the anger that you get from someone like Luis who's not wanting to chop. Like that could be in his brain, or the effect of like folding that hand. Like there's so much going on.
Do you think Luis doesn't want to chop? I mean, I know Luis said I'm offering a deal,
Yeah.
and then he said, "But if y'all don't take it now, it's off the table."
Whether or not he wants to, you know, it's still stuff like that like gets in your head, you know.
Yeah, I get that.
What about the fact that there's about 18 people in the room on the rail, and they're all watching Luis? You know, they're all in there, and he's
Oh, yeah.
interacting with them.
Yeah.
You know, it's tough for him to say, "Hey guys, do you want to chop?"
Yeah.
You know, they're all back there. You know,
No, she got it. She had it.
No, I mean I went out there just a few minutes ago to use the restroom. The rail was complete. I mean, this whole room had 20 people in it. So,
Really?
Yeah, so we'll see
That's awesome.
where that starts.
that's his sister pulling down his the back.
Oh yeah,
Sure, like,
she's a tennis
that's
star,
what
man.
she's here. Yeah.
His sister goes to my old alma mater and plays at a very high level collegiate tennis.
St.
awesome.
Moo.
Yeah.
My girlfriend's about to graduate from your alma mater.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you.
Ooh, King Jack 10, 2 diamonds, Patty with top pair, Buddha with the gut shot.
1 minute.
Mexican Buddha gonna need a queen, but most likely he's gonna fold to the sizing.
Yeah, he checks to
sizing.
Patty and she bets.
Man, I gotta say, even though Patty uses really big sizings, I really like her game. I think a lot of people would be surprised to see the hands that she comes up with, in a good way. I think playing like different from the field is really cool.
Yeah, I've spent some time at the table with her before, and she's a little frustrated. She can be tough to play against. You know, she does come up with some odd sizings, and also, you know, will just get right in front of you.
I
She'll
told
just
you.
donk
I
you.
mean, I played with her, and you know, my soul might also be in that jar above her refrigerator.
It's a separate jar.
It's a different jar.
probably,
We're not
yeah.
sharing jars.
No,
We're not
no,
animals.
You got
here.
your own.
Yeah. She has different jars.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
got
She's a
certain amount of
nice lady.
respect.
She has a nice sweater.
Yeah, the Pomeranian is probably really nice too.
She hides the jars above the top of her fireplace, not in the fridge.
I know the guys in the chat, the guys and girls in the chat can't see this, but Ethan is about to eat the largest chicken strips I've ever seen. In my life. These chicken strips might weigh 3.5 pounds, and it might have been There's a chicken shortage. You know that, right? Like, what is that plate? $37.
It's a whole chicken.
Yeah,
No,
it's 2 chickens.
Yeah.
with my discount, it's only $7.
Well, these chicken strips are really good here.
They
You know,
are.
The grill, we have a really full, nice menu.
Yeah,
Good value.
I ate some good food earlier.
The bar, full bar.
Yeah, here at Rounders Card
service.
Club in San Antonio, Texas. Great place to play. Come out and play.
Or come out and just have a little dinner, some large
Yeah.
chicken tenders.
Come play on the golf simulator. Come have dinner. Have a drink. Get a haircut.
Yeah, get a haircut.
Come say hi.
Play chess.
We can play chess.
People play chess.
I've
If
come
you want,
here.
I'll play gin rummy with you.
Oh, let's do it.
We'll
dude,
go to
right now.
Don't freaking do this. Much. I will bet money
This
on
is
gin.
I'll put $2 on it.
We'll play for $2 a game. That's fine. I'm gonna get him for 20. I might get him for $20.
You probably would.
Maybe 10.
Le-
I'll quit it. I'll quit you at 10.
Leonard up front at the chess game hustled me out at like $20. I feel you.
He asks me every day.
Yeah.
You play
Dude,
chess?
he
I
didn't
always say
hustle
no.
you. He didn't hustle you. The guy stands there with a chessboard set, and he asks everyone that walks by if they want to play. Do you think he's not good? Really?
I thought I was good enough. I used to be president of the chess club.
Oh, wow. Sick brag, bro.
Yeah, right.
Chess club brag.
Yo, I used to. I got
That comment,
I got that
brag,
cred.
you normally don't want to
Yeah, don't tell
follow
people
up when you
that.
say, the guy beat me.
Yeah.
There's some random guy, a guy who's here.
Dude, I want to see.
ran-
I want to
rounders.
see Ethan's yearbook and be like, and like go to the index and look up Ethan, and then it's like page 72, and then I go to 72, and it's like chess club president.
I was chess club president and
Undefeated.
I was also world politics president.
World politics. You know, I'm so old that I thought he was going to honestly say that there was like a World of Warcraft club at his school, and that he was the president of
I
it.
thought he was going to go that direction too, some
Yeah.
esports
Yeah.
type thing.
No, I actually didn't do any esports. I was playing esports, but there was no clubs.
Do you know that the last gaming system that I purchased in my life, or well, I might not even have purchased, but that I owned or was gifted, was the Sega Genesis? And I've only had 2 game systems in my entire life. I had a Nintendo, an original Nintendo,
Yeah,
and a Sega Genesis.
that's insane.
When did Sega Genesis come out? Like 1995? 4?
Yeah, I'm gonna guess 1996, 1995, around there. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. These are just this. You know, you're 3-handed now, and a lot of these hands are gonna look like this.
Yeah,
It's gonna be 8 highs, 10 highs, queen 4s offsuit, and it's gonna be who's doing what with not.
Oh.
Oh wow! And I say
The
that.
Buddha
then
has aces.
just gets aces. Nobody gives them action.
no, what is cute is me and my girlfriend are in the yearbook, like a picture of us together. Like just happened to be on a trip, and then we happened to be taking a picture.
Were you dating at the time?
It was like our first week into dating. Like it was the trip that we like got.
You went on a trip in high school,
I was at ISA. We would travel a lot.
Yeah, well, he was
like
world,
out of the state.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how else
around
would
the world
one
too.
be involved in world
International.
politics?
Yeah. Wow,
Whoa.
aces again.
No way.
That can't be.
Aces back to back.
I like
Look,
this. He limps. Wow, she was gonna fold, but she thought he raised.
Gosh, he has to just like check and let her catch something. He cannot bet this flop. No matter what this flop is, he cannot bet this flop.
All right, Jack 6-4 flop. Ooh.
Okay. It's just scary enough for him. He needed to check that one too.
I'm actually surprised she doesn't continue for 300K.
I mean, she already gave her hand strength away. She tried to fold
Yeah.
pre like. I think that might be the reason. Plus, she just knows. She really thinks that the only way she can win the hand is if she hits a 10. She doesn't. She probably doesn't even think she can win if she hits a jack.
If she hits any part of it, though, and he wanted her to have a part
Well,
of it.
I mean, what should have happened? I wish he would have checked, and I wish she would have probably checked behind or tried to steal it, and then you can put out a bet on the turn.
A 10 on the turn.
Yeah, yeah.
gonna
Just
take a
let yourself
boom.
get owned.
I'm gonna take a couple bites here.
It's quite all right. Go ahead.
Why do you have to tell
You
us?
don't have to announce it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Well, yeah,
It's
but you
fine.
don't
It's
have
okay,
to tell
man.
us.
Just
Who does that? Who does that?
Every time.
I literally, when I was gonna eat, I looked at Rudy, I mouthed which one was my headset, which one could I turn off. He's an adult, so he told me which one. We turned it off, and then I ate, and no one knew what had happened. They just thought that I died for a little while, and then I came back.
Well, you just
But
went- you just
Ethan, president of Chess Club, former world politics president or whatever, I don't know what it was.
He's got fans, man. People want to hear him. They want to know what
They
happened
wanna
to
know-
him. If
they
he's
wanna
not,
know- they
if
wanna know
they
every
can't hear
detail.
him breathing, they
gotcha.
want to know what happened to him.
Yeah.
So it's better that he let them know.
Yeah.
He
Well,
didn't expire on the air. 7s for Patty.
Clint has garbage. Can Luis pick up a hand here? I see a lot of Gucci in the background. That has to be Vu.
Yeah, it's for
Oh, pair versus pair. This
Uh-oh.
doesn't happen. This three-handed, this might be a person. This might be a full double up or a player being eliminated.
I think someone knows what happened. I don't want to know.
Don't tell us. Don't tell us.
10s versus 7s.
So she made it 1.5 million.
1.5.
It's a 300K big blind. Luis has 20 big. She actually has him out chipped, so Luis is going to be at risk if he jams all in here.
He's got a fresh beer, so he's got to take that into consideration.
He's not 100% sure.
Wait. Okay.
There he
Oh.
goes.
He shoved.
Honestly, I think she's gonna fold.
No,
Oh
she
wow,
called.
she
She called.
snap called.
Yeah, she called just because
Okay.
I have a feeling that there's a lot happening at the table that we don't know about. And Luis has had a lot of those beverages. And she might think that he's getting a little too loose.
Yeah.
She's going to need to hit 2 outs here to eliminate.
Let's see how she brings the 7.
Yeah,
Let's
this
see
is a
what she
huge
does.
spot. 80-20 for
It-
Mexican Buddha here.
If she wins this hand, if
Oh, there we go.
Oh, yeah,
If-
say.
she's able to suck out, she will own another soul.
Another jar will be
Another
needed on
jar,
the refrigerator.
another soul will need to be canned.
And you can see everybody piling in, trying to
Yeah.
see how this goes out. The tournament director with papers in hand. This is a huge spot for both players.
What's on the
I'll take the
papers?
set. I'll take the set.
What's on the paper?
It's a run it twice clause.
It's a run. I would be offering insurance right here if I was at the table.
This is a huge spot. Let me know who you think's gonna win.
You
in the
know,
chat.
Clint is saying 7, 7, 7, 7. But in all honesty, he's probably okay with Luis winning too.
Yeah, he wants to
because
rather
she's
go-
going to be so crippled. Okay, she didn't hit it on the flop. There's only 2 outs to come.
Queen of clubs.
It's
Diamonds though. Diamond redraw for Patty,
Queen
and
of clubs, mama.
I don't understand the 13%. I think this is more like a 4.6%. Now it's 2.3%.
I think it was because of the diamond. And is
Yeah,
7
no.
always coming? Is a big spot for Mexican Buddha. He's gonna need to fade it, and he
Oh,
fades.
there we go. Fades it, gets a double up, gets up to 44 bigs. She's down to sub 10 big blinds. She has 9 big blinds.
Huge spot.
She's not dead yet.
She's
She's
not
still-
dead.
yeah, she can
She's not
definitely
dead, but her
fight
next
back.
hand that she plays is
She
most
knows
likely
what
going to
she's.
be all
Yeah. It kind of, there's some comfort in knowing what your next move is going to be.
Yeah.
So you have 2 options. You're going to shove or you're going to fold.
It's almost easier to have 9 big blinds than 14 big blinds. Because
Yeah.
at 9 you're jamming, and at 14 you're like, can I raise?
Yeah, 14's an awkward whiff.
14 is definitely a stack that you can raise fold more.
Yeah, I mean, and I am, and most experienced players are going to be okay with doing that. But there's a lot of people that are less experienced that are just going to be jamming the 14. They're still going to feel that they're super, super short, even though they're not.
Yeah.
I want to see that his 44 bigs is now, I'm pretty sure still in second place, but it's really, really
Oh, yeah.
close now, right?
Yeah, I think Clint's at like 56 big blinds.
Okay.
If I remember correctly.
And if she gets eliminated, our bold prediction that we made, I do think that there will be some sort of deal offered now
Between the
if we get heads up.
Yeah, that's a very rough spot for Patty. It's hard because when you think about the hands that will shove there, you're gonna be super dead a lot of the time, or like in a flip. So the problem is that you think Mexican Buddha might shove with ace-9, but hard to say. I really think he wasn't gonna shove if he had ace-9. I don't think he would take a shove spot there. Yeah, interesting spot. go on to the next hand, and Clint's gonna wake up with Ace Jack. And looks like, yeah, Clint only has 3 million more than Mexican Buddha.
I'm gonna just go ahead and tell you right now. I get tilted when people look at their cards one at a time.
Good to know.
Yeah, if you do it, just know that my blood is boiling deep down.
And when you mean one at a time, you mean when they get one card, look at it, then wait until the next card is dealt, and then look at the other?
No, like if you grab one to peel one card alone,
yeah,
and then go physically grab your second card to peel it.
And they're already side by side. They're already there.
All right. I know. I'm starting to learn the SETI tells for when we play.
Yeah. And just know that all these things, they tilt me. But, like, nothing really happens to my play that's different. Just know that deep down, I want to eat your face off. Right? Like,
you want to put my heart in a jar?
No. I want to eat your face.
Don't tempt me with a good time. All right, we got a good hand for Buddha here.
There's the ace nine you were talking about. 750.
I don't think anybody's having more fun at this final table than Luis. He's like acting up for the rail. He's giving him a show.
He's barely sitting at the table. He's
really
mostly
not
interacting
sitting
with the rail.
Yeah, he's standing up, turning around, grabbing drinks, doing toasts. He's being the mayor of Rounders is what he's being.
Wow.
Check.
Two pairs for the Buddha.
I would love a check here, but I think the fear of the situation might lead you to bet.
He doesn't like that there's connected cards for straights and flushes, but
yeah, your hand doesn't need much
He's
protection
already folded
in this spot. But maybe targeting like 8-7 or something, but you know, when we look at the combos that do appear there, there's not many that are going to outdraw you, but still takes it down, a good spot. Thank you to everyone watching. We're here in San Antonio, Texas at Rounders Card Club. I'm Ethan Bruden here with Seti Trevino, aka Poker Traveler, and Rudy Herrera, my usual co-commentator. Hope everyone's having a good one.
for the people from San Antonio, Rudy Herrera, is there any relationship to former Spur Carl Herrera?
I think you asked me that question like 3 years ago.
Yeah, it's just
and we had to look it up.
It's a funny one because Carl Herrera is actually Venezuelan, and I know you're not Venezuelan. And Carl Herrera also does not look like
taller
he would be,
than me.
Well, no, he doesn't look like he would be related to you.
He has less hair
all.
than I do, right?
He's also like much darker skin than you.
Oh, I hadn't noticed that part. If we have
You don't
Buddha
see
with,
color.
with
You don't
eights,
see color.
I don't see color.
Look at that. Is that it? Yeah. There we go.
Eights for Buddha.
That's how I was.
Still
Interesting
good.
spot.
That's why I played my game.
I don't know if Buddha can continue very much, but he probably will. It's hard, though. You have to withstand 3 streets of betting. And
675.
do we feel like we can withstand 3 streets of betting here as Luis? Probably at least peel 1. Really got to think about those later streets. Does just fold. I like the fold. I really don't think you can withstand 3 streets of betting, which I think we're going to see from Clint.
Luis is getting a really good run of cards the last 5-6 hands. Seti, Dave Harmer is in the chat.
Yeah.
You know Dave. He's
I do.
interested in your gin rummy yum yum.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I want Ethan heads up in Jim Rummy. I don't want anybody that knows what they're doing heads up in Jim Rummy.
Oh, Luis is going to shove with the ace-7. Patty calls.
Oh,
Q9.
here we go.
have
Here we
all
go.
in. She's all in for a tournament life.
It's a pretty close one. 59-41. Ace-7's in the lead.
Emotions high.
Oh, she's
Big
all
rail.
she's all in for just $2 million. She really chipped down. So this is only a 7 big blind jam here.
Blind versus blind is kind of unavoidable.
Yeah, and Patty's going to need to get this one. As if she doesn't, she's going to get out in third place. Big rail behind them. Big spot.
12,500 is what's up for grabs for third.
Slow.
And Jack in the window. King.
Oh,
King right in the middle.
Luis needs an ace or running clubs or running queen 10 to catch up here.
You can see.
I have a feeling he's going to get there.
I have a feeling he's going to get
Barry Greenstein again.
Oh!
Now he's picked up 10s as additional
he
outs.
now has 7 outs.
Okay, right here.
Energy is high. You can see everybody.
7.
Right here, 10. Straight over straight. Come on. Right here, 10.
Patty.
Can it be a 10 or an ace on the river? Let's see for Patty.
No,
No.
he
It's an 8.
didn't get there.
And that's a big double up for Patty.
She doubled. She now has 4.1 million, which is now 13 bigs. She was down to like 6 bigs.
Yeah, that's a huge spot for her. And you could see how much energy was in the room. Just even people in the background like, come on, ace 10, please. You could see everybody just absolutely going off. So
And Patty just sitting there taking it, just very calm and just ready to take whatever happened.
So was that?
Of course, she flopped the king.
That
so-
really was her husband in the background.
Yeah, that was her
cool.
husband.
Cool.
Uh-huh.
Well, that's why we're sending him back in.
I forgot his name. But they always play tournaments. I mean,
Yeah, I've seen
very
him,
frequent
seen him a
tournament
lot.
players.
all right, I'm going to go back to eating chicken fingers.
Oh my god, this guy.
Now I'm gonna have to play. Chris is coming. He doubled me up earlier, so maybe I'll have to start playing again.
No, you bluff. Him.
Sorry.
I love the table talk. He's like, Louis says, no, you bluffed him. You didn't bluff me. For fashion, how do you like those pajamas in the background off of, I think it's Danny and the Just Do It Nike top and the, I don't know, are those cartoon character pajama bottoms?
Looks like he's got calla lilies on his legs.
Calla lilies, yeah. Haven't heard that in a while.
I've been looking forward to. I don't work enough calla lily vernacular in my everyday lingo.
Yeah, I've never
Botany,
said the
I've-
word calla lily in my life until just now.
I hope if there are any botanists out there, if they could confirm.
Any fans
Whether or
of
not that's
botany, say what's up. Drop a 1 in the chat if you're up in the botany streets.
I did. And I won.
This is fun. I like being back here.
Isn't this a good time?
Yeah, this is also. I can't lose back here.
It's safe.
Yeah, this is very safe.
It's hard to make mistakes back here too.
No, I think that's pretty easy. I think you can make some mistakes back here. I think you can become canceled if you say the right thing back here.
Or the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This
Okay.
is something.
These are good hands, 3-handed.
Patty's on the button. She's going to bring it in for a raise with a king jack offsuit. She makes it
Clint is playing
800.
extremely tight.
Ooh,
And
sixes.
it's good that he did because Luis is not folding.
The Buddha's
he
going to
just
shove.
ripped on her. He ripped on her. We're in another race situation.
Slam jam.
Can she hold? Well, can she catch up again? She was behind last time.
We are ahead. I've always pretty much been ahead.
The chicken fingers have been put to the side.
They won't let me eat my chicken fingers. They're going all in every hand.
Well, what do you expect? It's 3-handed, guy. You should eat
They've been
an
folding.
hour ago.
They've been folding like all day.
I ate an hour ago when we were like 11-handed. All right, here we go.
This
She
is a
wants
huge
to
spot.
see. She wants to see paint. Luis wants a 6 in the window. Someone's gonna be happy at the end of this hand. Someone's gonna be sad.
I love sixes. I gotta say,
And
sixes are one of my favorite.
as before, this time Clint is rooting for a 6. He wants.
Clint really wants.
He
a
wants
six
the
right
Buddha from Mexico to hit a 6 and end this and get heads up.
You know what's crazy is that if Mexican Buddha loses this, he's actually going to be in third in chips.
Oh yeah, she's gonna go up to 8 million, and he's gonna still have.
He's going to have 7 mil.
Is he gonna have 7?
Yeah,
Okay.
because he's going all in for 11.
Yes.
Low.
Yeah. So this is a huge flop. 3 on the board's not going to help, and that is a great flop for pocket
Yeah,
sixes.
he really likes that. And there's 2 diamonds.
No.
Even if she hits a king or a jack of
Now,
diamonds,
see,
he still has a redraw.
Patty missed the flop, so now she's not so quiet. Now she's asking for
Oh,
Ooh.
here we go.
the jack.
6 outs. That's all it is.
6 outs once.
14%.
And can she hit the king or the jack on the river to stay alive, get in second place?
No.
4 spades is going to do it for Patty.
GG.
Good games to Patty. You played really well, Patty. Taking home 12,500. That's going to
You crushed a
ease
lot
the
of
pain.
souls on the way. Great job.
You have way more jars of souls now for the rest of them.
and you're going to be able to get a nice little W9G tax form for $12,500.
Gained a lot of respect, too, from a lot of 987 players.
Yeah.
I think she played really well, I
10
gotta
of
say.
them being you and me.
I thought she played
she
her
really
hands
did.
really
She
well.
really did play really well.
Yeah.
I think she played better at this final table than almost everyone at the table.
I honestly do.
In my
agree.
opinion, she played better than Clint, who's still in the tournament.
I agree.
And he's only still in the tournament because he came with so many chips.
Yeah.
Because he has not really
He
been
kind
able
of
to
shut
build
down. once
he
he
hasn't
got
been
to-
able to build a stack. He hasn't been able to really apply pressure. Everyone else, a few people did a really great job of chipping up like Luis and Patty did.
2 minutes.
And let's see what happens now. They're playing. There's 42.9K remaining in the prize pool. 25K for first.
I think they're going to take a few minutes just to kind of reorganize, maybe just kind of fix the table up a little bit, maybe bring in about 6 people to stack Luis's chips. He refuses to do so.
Yeah, I honestly don't think he'll stack them until like the sixth hand ahead though. But that's my over/under.
And thanks for the raid, Slip and Bleed, in the Twitch chat.
What is a raid?
A raid means someone brings their viewers from their Twitch
Sick.
up to us.
Sick.
Yeah.
Thanks for the raid.
Yeah, I'm not sure if YouTube has that option, but
I don't think they do.
Yeah, that's a good way of getting people in, and it looks like they might be discussing a chop as we said, but not sure yet. 8K difference between second and first.
As the resident accountant, I would encourage Luis to not chop.
And why is that?
I think he has a skill advantage. Not really a skill advantage in general, but I think today, with his energy, the momentum, and the way that Clint is playing, I do think that Clint has a ton more experience and probably a really good card player, but I think Luis is a better heads-up player.
Yeah.
And he's playing. He has good momentum right
So
now.
your advice has less to do with your proficiency in accounting and more to do with poker strategy.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I agree with everything you
as
said.
his accountant / financial advisor, it would be a bad decision to take less money when I think he's going to win.
Well, as ex-president of the chess club,
yeah.
I say he should
You
chop
say
here.
checkmate, you should chop. because chess ends in draws a lot of times.
Exactly.
Is that why? Yeah.
No, they say.
Well, I'll tell you
So
what,
back in the day,
we ain't going to be drawing nothing today.
No, there will be a winner.
There's going to be someone
will
that
be
needs to
blood.
get the trophy. Have you seen the trophy? Is it nice?
Yeah, it's a really nice
Oh,
trophy.
yeah.
In fact,
Super
they,
nice.
it should be on the table.
I think they just
Yeah,
took it out to go,
They grabbed it.
to
They
go
did.
show the players.
That is true. So shortly, we'll have a little heads up, a little tete-a-tete, if you will.
Wouldn't it be cool if, like, rounders started walking the money out in a cardboard box and, like, the one security guard, like, had his shotgun drawn and, like, walked it out the way the World Series does?
I didn't know they do that at the World Series. That's pretty
Gosh,
cool.
you're so young. Yes, it's been the tradition for, like, 40 years or more, probably 50 years. Yeah, 50 years, that they would, a group of armed shotguns, like sheriffs / security guards, would walk the money from the back cage to the table, place the money on the table for what they're playing for with the bracelet, and they've kept that tradition all the way through.
Oh, okay.
It still happens.
I didn't know
today.
the sheriffs did that and stuff, or like the
Well,
cops.
security.
Yeah,
Well,
the
like security or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that, like, the people that do that are not like the regular security.
Yeah.
At the casino, like they're like
We did
Well,
for the
they're
1
armed.
mil.
they're carrying freaking shotguns.
They're
For the
armed.
1 mil guarantee, they brought out the cash
Uh-huh.
at heads up
Uh-huh.
because the players asked for them to bring
bring
out
it
the
out.
cash. Yeah. So we had it on display. That was actually a
It's
cool.
a little nice briefcase.
Yeah.
Briefcase, cool case.
I don't know if I'd want the money on the table.
Hard to
I
say.
actually would say that I don't want the money on the table.
Maybe in Texas.
No. It's not even about it's not even about like theft or legality.
Psychological.
It's psychological. It's I don't want
influence.
that other player to look at what we're physically
To visualize
playing
it,
for.
to be able to
I
visualize.
don't want him to be able to see it, him or her. I want them to still be chips.
Preston Fox in the chat says, SETI in the booth. Do my little ears deceive me? Yes. Poker Traveler joined us tonight for the feature final table.
Hello, Preston. Preston is at the top of my list for an upcoming 5-5 round of each no limit / pot limit Omaha game. Whenever he gives me the heads up that he wants to play, he's gonna jump in.
I love myself some round of each.
He has a young child at home, so he's
Yep.
not playing yet.
Very, very young. Yeah.
But he'll be playing soon. So you like round of each?
I just played a round of each yesterday, a pretty big one.
Are
It was
you
fun.
pure action?
Do
Do you buy in deep?
Not.
Will you
deep,
buy in
no.
at least 500 big blinds? Will you play at least 60% VPIP?
I would play 60% VPIP, probably not 500 bigs.
Not invited to the game.
Well, I'll probably be compensated.
Still not invited to the game. You can commentate, but you're still not invited to the game.
Yeah.
There was a pretty good 5 round around.
Yeah.
5 the other night.
I played one too. We started one because the Omaha game got short and the No Limit game got short, and we combined them, and it was good.
Yeah.
That's called diversity right there.
Yes. You get Hold'em players playing Omaha and Omaha players playing Hold'em. It's a recipe for fun.
I think I was in for $250 big blinds.
Oh, big blinds. Okay. Dude, that dealer. Yeah, I gotta say it. I don't want to single out that one dealer is better than another. But Deuce is an amazing dealer. And there's another dealer that's also dealing. Deuce is an amazing dealer. Yeah. All the dealers are great, but I like Deuce.
Yeah, Deuce is a cool guy.
I also like that he's just giving it his all. He's actually wearing, like... What are
KT tape.
What is it called?
KT tape. Kinesiology.
Kinesiology, yeah.
Yeah, he's injured. I mean,
Is he really injured, or is it to prevent injury?
It's not for.
It could be to prevent past injury.
It's not just
or
a fashion
aggravation.
accessory. I mean, the guy needs tape.
No,
What
I
are you
believe
saying?
it. I believe it. That means
I mean,
that
he's here putting his
that
wrist-
means he
his
slings
health.
the cards.
And
He's putting
there's
his
our
health on the
trophy.
line.
Sorry to interrupt.
He slings the cards. Is that the trophy? I can't
Yeah,
see it.
Yeah,
Paul's
we'll get the
giving it a little
graphics.
shine on it.
Paul's shining it. If you know Paul, I like Paul, and he has experience shining things. Because have you seen his head? He has one of the shiniest heads in the room.
Well, he's done a lot of work with
That's
balls,
very shiny.
Right? Bowling balls.
Oh,
Bowling
okay.
balls. He's from the bowling
This
industry.
That's not what I meant.
This dude has more shining abilities than anyone else probably in the room.
Yeah,
Trophies,
that's a very shiny head
bowling
right there.
balls,
Can you see the glare on it?
heads.
She's a beaut. The trophy.
Oh, you want on the ground?
It's a way better deal than what you proposed.
I'm going to go ahead and say right now, I'm going to put this out there. If Luis doesn't win, I might never talk to him again. Actually, I'll talk to him again one more time to tell him that I'm disappointed in him, and then I'll never
And then
talk
that'll
to him.
be it.
Yeah, that'll be
What are the chances he's got music going through those headphones right now?
0%.
Right?
They're not even plugged into anything. They're not on
probably don't even
Bluetooth.
work.
They don't even have battery. He's literally just wearing them.
He hasn't charged those things in
Yeah,
like 6 days.
probably like 4 years.
Move the trophy over here so that it's not in the way of me pitching and in the way of the chips.
Here's our
Like,
director,
see the
Chad.
club is
Tournament director,
right
John.
Okay, yeah.
None.
Fig.
Oh, there it is.
Things are happening out there.
Things are happening.
I think
Something's happening.
something wonderful.
I don't want to say
and
what's
something
probably
awful.
happening.
I think I have an idea based on the reaction.
I feel though, if there was a zombie apocalypse, that we're the safest individuals in this entire building. Yeah, like we're in a big building. We're past multiple doors, and we have weapons.
We have a fork. We have a set.
We have forks.
Fork and knife.
That's a pair of scissors back here.
Yeah, and we got chicken fingers, so we're good for a couple of days.
Yeah, stop eating the chicken fingers, man. You don't know what
ration the water. And
you can't just eat. This is the guy that's gonna be like,
all right, we're back on.
Okay, let's go.
Let's get the graphics. There we go.
There we go. Oh wow, and there's just a head, like a really big hand
How does
already.
this happen? King,
This is
Queen
like a
versus King
big
10.
hand already. First hand.
We're gonna start off nice and light.
In all honesty, though, 48 bigs and 55 bigs, they are super deep. This should go a long time. Like, no one should be gambling right now. They should be trying to play for skill and chipping away at each other, and not just trying to get into a big flip.
No. You told him to keep the cards at 6.
You told me to keep the cards at 7. That's what you told me. He said,
Okay, all right. Okay, all right. Are we good?
The cards are in the.
Okay. So we've got a dead small, a big blind, and we've got a boot on the dealer button. And Clint is raising.
See, this happened.
Why is he first?
No, so Buddha raised to 750. It looks
Oh, he
like Clint's
did. Okay.
re-raising to 2.8 million.
So you're just gonna end up in one hand? It feels like a throwback.
I think he's just gonna let this go.
I think he's going to fold too. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
He's not ready to.
Like I said, they're too deep for Luis to want to gamble.
Yeah.
Biggest hand I've seen in 2 hours.
And he's right. I mean, he was in rough shape. So it's a good fold on the Buddha's part. There's a good look at the trophy there on the right. So this hand, Clint will be in the small blind. Will be a dead button. No, that's not true. He'll be the button.
Look at the polish on that trophy.
And Buddha's in the big blind.
It looks like the Aria.
We need the trophy, Luis.
Hannah in the chat. Hannah from the Bahamas in the chat. That's crazy. Well, she's not from the Bahamas, but she's in the Bahamas with Drew. Oh, and they got another trophy out. They got all the trophies.
It looks better for the stream. Yeah. They are gonna.
They're grabbing their own trophies and putting them out there.
How come you get the big one on your
Right?
Only one trophy is awarded to the champion. We get a good view of the community card area.
Oh yeah, bro, you can't beat an old man just over 7 can.
Hannah, yeah, I second the motion on that. Everyone, please pray for Drew's run good tomorrow.
We got a big hand brewing here.
King, Queen, offsuit for the Buddha, pocket fours for Clint.
There are a lot of weird flops that can come. Some flops that can really be insane. I mean, you can get a King 4X flop. Heads up, you're going to hit a lot more sets.
Yeah. Big. Mic up, Dave. Mic up.
Ooh, pair board 7, 7, 10.
Luis just picked up counterfeit outs, which is good.
That's a good point.
I like this check back.
Oh, a lot of outs. 20 outs.
My
Might
goodness.
honestly be too many outs. He needs to bet now.
3 tens, 3 jacks, 6 kings.
I'm putting out somewhere like 900K on this turn.
Yeah, I like that. And honestly,
And it looks bigger. It looks like he might have bet 1.2.
I think it was 700.
7, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Those are
and
500Ks.
I actually believe in the king queen here. I think I'd much rather take the king queen. And it's gonna be a 9 on the turn. How'd I know? How'd I know?
I mean, the one good thing is that it's a 4-liner to a straight. I think as soon as Luis puts out a bet out here, Clint's just gonna let it go.
Yeah, this is a great one. To fold.
8's got there. King queen got there. He's beat by a 10, a jack, a 9.
Yeah, he has 4s. It's
There's no bet that Luis is gonna make that. In my mind, I think Clint's gonna actually call.
he might even fold aces here.
Actually, this looks kind of bluffy though, right? Oh, and he does get called.
What?
I'm not surprised. It is heads up. Pairs are pretty strong.
What are you? No.
I don't know. Like I said,
that's not a thing.
I think aces might even.
That's the worst possible board. You can't beat ace high. All the king highs beat you because they all connected with the board.
Well, you do beat ace high.
You beat only ace high.
You beat only ace high.
But all ace highs would bluff there.
Yeah, and half of the ace highs beat you.
Yeah,
because
like
they connected
jack,
with
ace
that
10.
board.
No, I mean I know what's
Ace
beating you.
8.
I'm just saying from his perspective why he might call.
Yeah, I think it's terrible.
King 6 maybe, king 6 suited, because
you're
king 5 suited, king 4 suited, king 3 suited, all hands that would raise and then play that way.
It's Luis at a final table. That guy's not betting with king high suited.
Yeah,
You can. Yeah,
You just fold.
You can call and just
100%
be
of the
wrong,
time.
or you can fold.
Yeah, no, I think you just
You can just
fold.
wait.
Wow. Bro, I got
if he was right though.
Yeah.
You're just right so little of the time.
Not even.
But if he was though.
Then he would be right, but that's not going to happen very often.
Yeah.
But when it does.
2 million and 2 million chips is a lot of chips right now. When you lose 2 million, it's a 4 million swing. And that's the difference in their stacks now, 18 versus 14. I think that was not good.
Hey, guys, come on.
1 million.
Yeah, because Jesus got tough too.
150?
1 million.
This is a big raise.
29? There's no way it's 29.
22-9.
22.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Nah.
And then 20.
Move on to the next. I gotta tell you, I don't mind. I'm a big fan of Luis's stack. All of a sudden,
I just think that the fact that he has the chip lead now, like, it's going to be hard to take it away from him. Based on the way that I've seen Clint play this tournament, this last
or just
18
the last.
people.
Yeah, when it got down to
I think Clint's going to win the hand if he coolers Luis. Going to win the tournament if he coolers him. But I think if all the pots stay fairly small, Luis is just going to slowly chip away at him.
All my fake friends.
When I'm trying to reach for.
Right?
When I'm trying to reach for.
So C1 clean or no tomorrow? C1, C2.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna party with the wife.
With the wife? Can I join?
Ooh, this one is going to be a big one.
No, she goes to church.
Oh wow, this has possibility to be.
I don't remember last time I went to church.
An ace-high board would be really devastating.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see it defend a lot of the time. Possibly even a re-raise from Clint.
They still are so deep. This is really amazing that the players have a lot of play if they want it. Like they're still 40.
it
The
doesn't-
small size is 46 big blinds.
I think this format worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
You know, He's gonna.
Oh, this is a raise, right?
Mm-hmm.
He just bet what you call more. MOAR. He put in more chips.
Moar?
Was it 2.1?
More. Yeah.
Yeah, 2.1.
Total.
2.1 million is the 3-bet.
What's the possibility that this might be the last hand of the stream?
Well,
More than 50, less than 50.
I think if
it's
he shoves,
pretty
he's going to get a
likely.
fold, but
You think if Luis jams, Clint's folding?
yeah, I think for sure.
There's the jam.
I don't know. I
And
guess
He
not.
snapped him off.
Wait, what? With 40 bigs behind?
Yeah.
That's what I've been saying. Like since we got heads up, there's so much play
They're
left,
just too deep.
and they do not need. This does not need to happen.
It's a big flip.
Yeah, I mean it's a big hand, right? To
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah, it's a cooler
maybe
situation.
is there a possibility that there's a deal that happened that we don't know about? That's
Oh, there's
that's
a very strong possibility.
That's the only thing that I could think. If I'm these players, I'm not. If there's a lot of money on the line, I'm not playing this little roll with this many
Blink
chips.
super slow.
Luis is asking for the very slow peel again. Will they give him the slow peel? This is slow.
Jack.
Oh, okay.
70-10.
Needs to be a 4, 3 outs.
Oh, fuck yeah.
3 outs, and then there's some running chop outs. That's a head.
6%.
That's a head on the screen.
That's a tournament director's head.
That was a big head.
That's fine.
Gonna need a 4.
He's got, I mean,
Ace. Okay,
Luis
there's
has the
some.
whole board.
Yeah, there's
got everything.
actually no outs for chop now. It's still just the 3 4s. Oh my god, a head again. I love it. I love it. It actually looks like God's looking down on the table. All right, this is over.
That's going to be it.
And Mexican
That's
Buddha
gonna be it
takes
for
down
Buddha.
another one.
Congrats.
Look at him. He's popping off.
Yeah. I said that the 2 most experienced players at this table were Clint and Luis. He has someone on FaceTime. He's literally talking to someone already. And these are the payouts, 22.9K and 20K, so they did make a little bit of
Yeah,
a deal.
they did. They
They
made a
moved
deal.
some money around. They moved $2,500 roughly.
But that kind of moves things along, though,
yeah.
to your point.
Yeah. But still, man, if I'm Clint, I want that trophy.
Yeah.
And I'm probably not going to get it all in there. But hey, who cares? He obviously
did a
played
great
better
job.
than 985 other people.
Yeah, that was
including me and Rudy. 10 bullets. His
10
one
times.
bullet probably played better than our 10.
Y'all were more than 1% of the field.
Were we? Yeah, we were.
Well, he lasted longer for sure.
Yeah. But you know what? We had more heart. We wanted it.
We
more.
weren't quitters, were we?
We wanted it more.
Right up until
I mean,
we
how
quit.
hard is it really to fire one bullet at final table?
Anybody can do
It's
that.
harder to fire 5.
Yeah, you got to walk up to the front desk all
to
the
keep
times.
on walking up, and they say you're buying in again, and having to tell Instagram and Twitter and all your friends that you lost again.
Y'all paid 10% of second place's money.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go. Well, great. Congratulations. Great play to Mexican Buddha here, Luis. Great player. That's like the second or third one he's taken down here at Rounders, and I'm sure he's feeling great about that. You can see he's popping off hella hard. Great stuff to Clint in second place, taking 20K. Huge payday for both of these players. I'm sure coming into day 2, they weren't expecting to get this far. I mean, everyone is, but like you never know until it happens. And great play to both of them.
Thanks to the people that jumped in the chat late. Preston, Turbo Hemi, Tim, Mike McCardle, and Carlos Arturo Gonzalez.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for stopping in. And please hit that like button on your way out if you don't mind. This is going to draw into our $100,000 guarantee, which ended up being a prize pool of $150,000. So thanks for all the players. Thank you, Seti, 5 times.
I had a good time.
Yeah, thanks for joining us in the booth. And
Seti.
Ethan?
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, it was great.
Good time, right? Good
super,
final
super
table.
great. I loved having Seti. I'm sure we'll have you on again in the future.
Yeah.
We'll be coming back on Tuesday and Thursday for our cash game, so stay tuned for that. Give us a like and subscribe on YouTube. Thank you, everybody. I'm Ethan Brune here with Rudy Herrera and Cedric Trevino, a.k.a. Poker Traveler. Hope you all have a good one.
Good night. Thanks.
Bro, she never did.
2, 3.
I'm so in love with you. You got me down again.